yet, are we?
We are live.
Shit.
We can start it over, though.
I feel like...
We can start it over.
Okay, let's just start over.
Good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you today, Wooly?
Great.
That's fantastic. That's just super.
Yeah, getting used to the idea of good morning being replaced with good afternoon because my body is ready. Is now fully adjusted to the idea of my day starting afternoon. So, good afternoon.
Oh, man. You look like you're having some delicious afternoon energy.
Yeah, all right.
I will say one thing, though. I'm very glad, but this delicious energy, sugar-free, has actually enabled me to re-damage my sleep schedule. So I don't know if people have noticed or you've noticed, Wooly, but for the past month, I have been ping-ponging from a normal, perfect human being sleep schedule to that of my dad's, which is going to bed at 9 and waking up at 5 a.m.
Yep.
To my old one, which is go to bed at 4, wake up at never. And the worst part about it is that every time I'm like, wow, I'm up at like 9 a.m. I can have a regular breakfast and go out and face the world. And then I start a stream at 8 p.m. with a yawn.
Yep.
And I'm like,
uh-oh.
I have built my entire life around being awake from 7 p.m. to 2 in the morning, which is now when I want to die.
Yeah. See, rules exist so that you don't have to listen to your body. And when you have to show up for places at certain times, it forces you to do things that are uncomfortable. Because if you do listen to your body will betray you.
My body betrays me quite often.
It will fuck you over at the first given chance.
There are so many times when my body betrays me. Number
Can't be
one,
trusted.
Hey, this is a good time to go to sleep. No, it's not, body.
Yep.
Alternatively, you don't really need to sleep. Yeah, I do, body.
Yep. Can't be trusted.
You really need to go to the bathroom. That's weird. I actually didn't. You don't need to go to the bathroom for hours.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. You lied. You lied to me, internal organs.
Are you hungry, or is that just a stomach ache?
Are you nauseous and sick, or do you just need a bagel?
Yeah.
That one is the actual worst, because I will wake up and I will be like near vomiting level nauseous, but it turns out that's hunger.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
And in particular, the lack of sleep into early wake up, like drowsiness, transitions seamlessly into migraine for me.
Oh yeah,
that's where that's most
unlucky.
Like it is an artistic Oscar-worthy transition of how that pain becomes one into the other if I don't pay attention to it.
Let me ask you, what kind of migraines do you get?
I mean, just sharp.
You get the sharp ones?
Sharp.
Okay.
Sharp, fuck you. Now. Fix now.
Where does it hang out? Does it hang out in your temples, behind the eyes?
It's not the behind the eyes, it's the temples, and it's the, like, but it's coated in exhaustion, so it's hard to separate, because it's like, this is something that I would get back when I was, like, having fatigue at work, and, like, it always felt like, I associate it with a severe need to sleep and not do anything.
That's correct, yeah.
And I don't know if that's the same that any other people get in general.
Lack of sleep will make any of that worse, so that's not uncommon.
So it's always it's always covered and coated in drowsiness. You know, that's how it is, and it's coming in right here, and it's knives right here.
So for me, it's behind the eye, and it's always on one side of my head predominantly, and it's nearly always caused by a incredibly specific environmental trigger. I don't just get them, right? And sleep doesn't do it. For me, it's scents due to an incredibly powerful perfume allergy, which when people say they have perfume allergies, that expands to more things than you would expect.
Right.
It expands to any scent that a human being could place on their body.
Right.
So I gotta buy the fucking unscented deodorant, or else I get vomit level sick.
I mean, that's unfortunate because a lot of people use things to smell good.
Yeah, and you know what causes that to happen with people like me? You get a fucking unconscious association that you hate to be around those people.
Yeah.
Because you actually feel like you're going to die. And the other thing is sunlight. If I get caught walking down the wrong side of the street at the wrong time of day, you know that bullshit? My sun's in my...
Yep.
Guaranteed by the time I get home, I'm going to feel like the sun stabbed me.
You're probably going to need to stay away from Vegas.
Not so. It's UV light. Otherwise, my life would be hell. It has to be sunlight.
I mean, all I know is that the heat and sunlight in Vegas is the most scalding it's ever been because it's desert sun.
Well, luckily, you don't have to go out during the day in Vegas.
No.
They have lights for the nighttime.
Yes, but in fact, standing in the shade immediately drops everything. Your core temperature just plummets.
Deserts are weird.
But it really is like a fucking angry Mario 3 sun while you're out there.
Chasing you.
Yeah, if that's what your weakness is, then you want to be fucking careful.
So my mom gets the migraines, and unfortunately, she gets them just like anything, like they're random. And like many women who get constant migraines, she has a bonus that I don't think you or I have to worry about. She gets the fucking auras. You know about that shit?
AURA, auras?
Oh, you're not familiar? Okay, so everybody...
they like the vapors?
Everybody in my family gets migraines. It is an ongoing thing. It's hereditary. It sucks. The women in my family, they get migraines with auras. And what that is that the migraine is so intense that you are seeing wispy colors around objects.
So your mother gets the auras?
Yes.
Okay.
You see stands around, and it is a type of hallucination. And I can only think that is like your brain, because the migraine's your fucking brain swelling and shit. It's just pushing on parts of your head to make the color go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds like that's not great. That's basically light concussion.
Yeah, that is actually exactly what it is. It's accompanied with nausea and occasionally dizziness, and it is in fact very similar to a temporary concussion. So, hey mom, how you feeling? Going to sleep. Migraine. Okay, bye mom. But then they give you those fucking codeine Tylenols.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then once you hit 50-ish, they stop giving them to you because they're afraid they're going to turn all the old people into the drug addicts.
Yeah, that sounds like a lifelong problem with no clear solution.
There is no solution. In fact, my migraines, and this is the fun callback if y'all remember the funsies of redhead genetics. Redheads have incredibly high resistance to opiate painkillers, which means even the high-end, I could steal these and sell them to street urchins painkillers, don't do nothing. So the only thing I actually have options for is to just go run my head under the hottest shower I can stand for like an hour and a half until it passes.
I'm sure there's a point in time when that resistance will be useful in life.
Well, considering my dad went in for his triple bypass and they asked him to count down from 10 and he's like, got it, and he passed out. And then he woke up when he saw them spinning the saw to get into his chest and went, oh! And then the doctor went, oh! It's way more likely to kill me than it is to actually be helpful.
Yeah.
You know, if you wake up during surgery, you just die, right?
Is that how that works?
Well, yeah, because
I just thought it was massively traumatizing.
Well, that's the thing. It's the trauma of waking up with people digging around inside your torso.
Yeah.
That's not a natural act.
I mean, people have survived that. They just get really, really fucked up from it.
Well, not the ones with heart conditions.
Well, I mean, assuming you don't wake up to the point that, like, you are like pulling shit out and trying to fight off.
Oh, you can't. You'd probably be all frozen.
Yeah, I
Aware.
imagine.
And it's like when they put you under for a triple bite or anything big like that, doctor has to come and sit down to you because they have to explain to you not just stuff like that. They have to explain, okay, you're going to wake up in the ICU, right? You're going to have that thing in your throat that, that feeds you and makes you breathe.
Yeah.
That's going to feel like you're dying. You're not dying. You're fine. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
Because if you freak out, you could just die.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And that's the speech they give you for afterwards when you're fine. I don't think there is a speech for, okay, so they took your heart out of your chest and then they're poking you, etc.
Yeah, again, I imagine that you come out of that probably never willing to trust a doctor again or a hospital again.
The few people that I remember reading about who survived that are, like, broken.
Yeah. Yeah, so that seems about right. It's the basic equivalent of trench surgery.
Yeah.
Or like battlefield dressing. Like, it's just not fucking something you're gonna get over ever. But at the same time, like, I don't know, is it like sleep? I'm wondering, is it like sleep paralysis where, like, okay, you wake up and then you see what's going on, but if they see your eyes open, then they're gonna probably know.
Well, I mean, when you're juiced, your eyes could be kind of open and you not actually be there.
Yeah.
The real fun one.
One fear.
Fuck it. I'll tell another one.
One fear.
My poor dad had many mishaps during his trips to the hospital. So there was that one, which scared the shit out of everybody, and then they juiced him like twice as much as normal.
Yeah.
But then the other one is when he went in, before he got his pacemaker, he went in for a second round of heart attacks. Yeah, that's right. He went into the hospital to have a second round. He's like, I don't know, that first one was pretty weak. So they juiced. So I'm using the term too loosely. When I said they juiced him, I meant they juiced him with the drugs. So he died for a bit, and then they zap him, right? They zap him, give him a good old defib, right? Now that hurts. They don't talk about this, but
as it should.
That hurts like shit. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
However, in the ongoing, like, everything's going to shit, that little beeper that they keep on your finger, for your EKG, fell off.
Oh,
so it still showed him as flatline.
Oh, and they didn't notice.
So he woke up with the first jolt, and he's like, oh, right. But then they go, oh no, he's still flatline. Hit him again. And the guy clear and goes to do it, and my dad holds his hands up and goes, no, stop! And the dude drops the pedals and, like, goes stone still, and then, like, just essentially finished up and then ran away. And apparently that, like, freaked that guy out more than he's ever been freaked out working that job ever. Because if he had zapped him the second time, he would have stopped his heart, almost certainly. And by some little foible, it fell off.
So, modern medicine is a miracle.
Yes.
It is unbelievable how far we've come in terms of scientific advancement.
We're putting organs from other people into new people.
We are saving lives at a rate that no one has ever seen before.
Growing ears on mice.
The fact that those things can still happen, I'm not going to look at it and go, how? I'm just going to say that is the greatest don't fuck with your health and just exercise and eat properly advertisement I've ever heard. Because literally, no matter how amazing modern medicine is, the best way to not have a situation like that happen is to not be on the table.
Oh, that's right.
And the way you don't end up on the table is by just doing the healthy shit.
Hey, Doc, where's your watch? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I had it when I went into the operation.
Just eat a fucking salad and take a walk, because that's it. Like all the temporary mouth pleasure of that awful thing you're putting in that's gonna ruin you later on is like the real risk is when you're there on that table and modern medicine happens to fail you if you happen to be that statistic.
It's not even that.
That
I mean,
sucks.
Let's just say you're in an operating room and an orderly trips over the cable that hooks you up to the breathing machine. That's it. People trip and fall. People drop things. People sneeze.
A friend my age had a fucking kidney stone.
Oh, no.
From drinking too much juice.
That's the worst thing that could ever happen to a person.
And I'm like, all right, we're done. Juice is done. You're out. That was it. I'm like, no, it's not worth it.
It's like giving
the taste
birth
is not
to
worth
a rock.
we're out. You know? All of these things, there's always that, like, someone that is a peer or really, really close to you in terms of lifestyle or age or size has something go really, really wrong, and you go, wow, nope, fuck that.
So I got
a
buddy of mine who has a relative. This relative is an old man and has never been healthy in his entire life. This old man smoked as much as he could every day of his life.
George Burns.
Ate whatever the fuck he wanted and got to be a big fat old guy.
Yeah.
Said exercise is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And anytime a family member was like, hey man, he was like, you shut up.
Yeah.
I'm a big man.
Yeah.
Right? Cue a heart transplant. Nothing has changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leading to a second batch of heart attacks and the story that was told of their what's the cardiologist running into a room with a pamphlet of papers going, motherfucker, are you still smoking?
Yeah. I remember, I've heard the stories. I've heard the stories about, like, I told them before, but just like the dad that's like, yes, I've had the bypass and all that, but I just want my steaks. I don't have a lot longer left. Just leave me alone. And you're like, fuck. If that's where you're at, then so be it, I guess, man.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like, there is no age where it is worth it to possibly be waking up on a fucking table or having a stone or just all kinds of other shit like that where I'm just like, man, nah, not worth it.
I took experimental acne medication when I was young and could have ended up with crippling liver disease.
Yeah, there you go.
Lucky me that I didn't.
See, the thing for me, though, is that what fucks me up is the fact that, so you have all this, and you can look to the past, and you can look to your dad, and like learn all the stories.
You can look at that, and you can make a rough tabulation. Okay, diet more or less the same. Smoking removed. Okay, then this means that if things go on as they are now, right? And you go,
I'm the only fat person in my entire family.
Mm-hmm.
There is no one else on both sides.
I wouldn't call you fat at all.
Well, by comparison.
Okay.
Everyone is
you have a family of lithe jaguar
lean
people
and tall.
Okay.
I'm also pretty short for my family.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So
no, fuck off.
No, I mean I've explained this before, but like they're all tall and lean, and I am the complete opposite. I am like, you take them and you drag that bounding box down and pull it out a little bit. So like it is weird because the rest of all the Maddens on this side and on my mom's side, like it's all fucking just not me. So the other thing too, of course, is the fact that by a bunch of them being like super Adventist and stuff, they have the big health message and they're eating super green and all that. But in general, from when I was first like when we were all kids, I was always just shaped differently. So I don't have any reference points to go off of in my family where I can figure out like, oh, this guy is kind of like what I'll be. Like, no, I don't look anything like anyone else in my family.
On the Boivin side, I'm the tall one.
Right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
The Boivin side of the family is often so short that nearly all the women are technically considered little people,
Yeah.
despite not having dwarfism.
Yeah.
They're just really small people. And on the other side of my family, everyone is tall. And the farther up that line you go, I mean, fucking tall. I had a great uncle who was like 6'9". No, he was 6'6". 6'6", which I don't even know what that's like, man. I need stilts and shit.
It's just normal.
No,
you
it's
know?
not normal. Shut up. Don't you dare.
I should probably clarify, when I say I don't look like anyone in my family, I mean in terms of proportions.
Yeah.
Facially, I can see exactly where my features come from. So it's not a question of that. But yeah, there's like, I mean, I've it's one of those things where like I've been told like, oh, you know, you're a lot like Grandpa, who I've never met
I've
or
been told I
whatever.
look just like relatives that died before I was born.
Yeah, so you get that sometimes, but I'm still just like, oh, were they like chubby like me too? And it's like, no, like, okay, so not really.
Most of them weren't spoiled living in Canada.
Yeah. Too many, like, too many peanut butter sandwiches.
Too many puts-ins, man.
Yeah. At some point, peanut butter with cheese sandwiches. Just that weird experimentation.
What is that?
That was a thing.
What is that?
Oh, I've talked about that before for sure. Yeah.
That is causing a fucking vomit reflex for me.
Sounded horrible when my cousin suggested it. Took a bite. Legit went, that shouldn't work, but it does.
I don't want to hear this.
It's like the first time. Okay, so this has happened to me so many times.
Well, you're talking about somebody who fucking separates his food on the plate.
I know, and that's fine. And I'm somebody who definitely gets grossed out by weird shit. Like, when I first heard about fondue, I'm like, that is disgusting. Get away from me.
Really?
Right?
That seems
like
kind of normal.
I thought that was super gross. I'm like, what you're dipping? Why would this type of fruit combined with chocolate taste good? You're fucking crazy. That sounds nuts, right?
Yeah.
And then I tried it. I'm like, no, you're wrong. That was good. And there's weird things like that. Like, you know, you hear about put the fries in the Wendy's Frosty or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Right? You hear that and I'm like, that sounds horrible. You're a monster. Get away from me. And then it's like you put the fry in the thing and you taste it and you're like, oh shit, that actually works. Then you hear about bacon plus ice cream, and I'm like, fuck you, you're crazy. But then it works.
Hey, I've got one for you.
Salty and sweet. It does a thing.
Would you ever test this out? Would you ever dip your Lay's natural potato chips into mustard as if it were a dip?
Yeah, she's out of her mind. I'm not. What I'm saying is you take some chips and you can crush them up and you sprinkle it on your sandwich, and that's a good shit. But ultimately, all of this, like, trust me, I understand the concept of grossness of these two things. They should not work together, right? And then someone goes, hey, don't knock it till you tried it. And I'm like, fuck you, right?
Yeah, no, sometimes the answer to that is fuck off.
Yeah. But as I live and breathe today, as I sit here before you, I swear to God that my cousin handed me a peanut butter sandwich
And like sliced, like crab
that had
cheese
just
or
like
whatever?
sliced, that had some sliced mozza inside there, and it was actually pretty good.
I don't like this.
And it was not a strong cheese. It was like the kind of cheese that, like, you know, like I said, like strong cheeses would be like, that'd be no.
Oh yeah, don't get some
But
brie or blue.
it was
in there.
more.
That's
It was more
ridiculous.
just kind of like the light texture combined with crunchy peanut butter, and then also I don't know if you've ever, like, you know when you put peanut butter on a sandwich and it's like the toast is just warm,
Yeah.
so it kind of melts the peanut butter a bit.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
you get the gooiness.
Yeah.
It's that with the melted cheese.
All right, I'm gonna vomit.
Okay, that's
That's
fine.
disgusting.
That's fine. But I
You know what the other thing is though? I'm one of those people that like.
I promise you, I know how crazy it sounds.
I'm one of those
and it
people that
works.
like when I eat a food and be like, "Oh, this tastes really good," but the texture makes me want to die. Like I can't enjoy fucking
Yeah.
squid. Anything with squid in it,
Yeah.
it's the texture. It's just fucking. No.
I'm still honestly like when the whole default hot dog sandwich mayo relish thing. I don't dig that at all.
No, I don't like that.
I don't like those three being the default condiments because I'm like, they don't.
Well, that's default. That's different anywhere.
They don't complement each
Well,
other.
whatever your default is on any particular location.
The
is gonna-
condiments don't complement. They don't. I think a certain type of like one of those long European style hot dogs with like
a fucking Frankfurter,
right? Like one of those with like a Dijon is great.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
I don't even like mustard, but I get that.
Yeah, right. With the little things in it, the little seeds in it, or whatever the fuck. You put that by itself.
Totally.
On it.
Why
You don't
not?
fucking put ketchup and relish. It's good enough with just that. It's
I think
super
relish
good.
doesn't work with any other thing that you would put on a burger.
It really.
Sorry, with the fucking hot dog.
That trifecta is horseshit. I feel like I've been lied to for years.
Cold.
Yeah, and you know what the ultimate proof is? They made something called burger sauce. Right? And burger sauce is a combination of all three that you're meant to just put, quick squeeze, and go. So that you don't have to worry about putting all three together.
Yeah, no, that's too much work.
And it's horrible. It tastes so disgusting. Right?
I don't like that.
So fuck that mix. And like the things that you wouldn't expect to mix, or I'm like, you know what? Fuck all that relish shit. Fuck the mustard on it. Put some ketchup on the dog, right? And then I'm like, you know what? Throw me one of those mayos. And you put ketchup and you put the line of mayo, and you're like, you know what? There you go. Now it works. Right? So those two together actually work because ketchup plus mayo with the right proportions is Big Mac sauce.
I'm torn on mayo because I'm not sure if it's me or my brain that hates it. Because if you put mayo on something, and if you said, hey, here's a thing, you put a mayo on it, and I took a bite out of it, I might as well just spit it on the floor, right? But if it's one of those things that I ate it, and you're like, by the way, there was some mayo mixed in there,
yeah,
I'll shrug.
Yeah.
But like I feel like mayo needs to be diluted heavily.
Mayo, you can't think about what mayo is.
It's just eggs, man.
Yeah, it's just a gross egg sauce, and it's super nasty.
Yeah, but
it tastes great. And mayo chicken as an Asian dish that you order up tastes good. But it's like, yeah, a lot of it is cultural. Here in Quebec, in particular, mayo on fries is the thing.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's what we do. But I
don't like it.
Yeah,
just give me a little thing of ketchup.
But anyone that's not you that lives here will be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Handing
well, unless
you
you're out
in
France or Europe or whatever.
You go to DeCarry Hot Dog. What are you gonna do? Not get mayo on your fries? Get the fuck out of here! You're not getting fries.
I don't want mayo on my fries, man.
Well, are you just gonna offend everybody? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I lived in this city just as long as the rest of you fucking assholes. I want ketchup on these goddamn fries.
I just don't understand where the relish comes from. I don't know.
I actually also don't get it.
There's nothing I can think of where I'm like, you know what this needs? Some fucking cut up salty pickles and dill.
I recently had a fucking
and vinegar
situation where I ordered a sandwich on the internet from the Uber Eats, and I'm like, oh, I'm excited to have this sandwich. So it's a sandwich that has, like, okay, you can add 35 different vegetables to this fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
You can add cucumbers. You add fucking 5 different kinds of onions, whatever, right? On this list, you know, the little drop-down list. None of those options are pickles. Zero were pickles. So I go, okay, just hit me with all dressed. Sure enough, fucking thing comes rife with pickles. And pickles offend me because all I can taste is vinegar.
Yeah.
And I can't eat vinegar because if vinegar goes on the food that I'm eating, every taste in the food leaves other than vinegar, which isn't a taste that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So I take one bite in, I'm like, all I taste is fucking pickle. It's literally, there are 30 fucking things in this sandwich, most of which are vegetables, and I'm tasting, it's like eating a big fucking pickle.
Pickles are the fucking weirdest because I love pickles, and I will grab a jar and I'll crunch into some of those fuckers like nonstop.
Do you drink the brine?
No.
You'd be crazy to just drink the brine out of a jar of pickles, huh?
Put the baby preservation water in the fridge? Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
No, thank you. But the fucking thing with pickles is as much as tasty as they are, especially you get a good crunchy one and you do the whole thing, the moment you put it on something as a topping, it ruins it. You can't have pickles on anything.
It's all pickle then.
You have to. Yeah, no,
it's a very strong flavor.
Completely agree. Like, pickles are great on their own. You cannot combine it.
Don't combine pickles with food.
When you do the Polish deli thing and they give you like the Jewish deli thing where they give you the smoked meat and then they cut the slice of pickle in there, like, I want this pickle,
I get it,
but I don't want it at the same time as my meat. You know. Yeah,
Whenever I go to a place like that, everybody's happy because I'm like, hey, who wants my pickle? And everyone's like, hey.
Yeah, I can't. I don't dig it. I don't dig it. It's great on its own, but you can't put it anywhere. You need at least 10 minutes before and after of of pickle time. Pickle needs to have its own time for flavor because it's ruining everything else you eat. It's like toothpaste.
Oh man,
it's like toothpaste. It's gonna fuck with the flavor of whatever you're tasting.
Toothpaste.
Did you know they have like flavor fuckers? By the way,
I'm sorry. What?
they have these little things you can eat where like it'll make it so that you can't taste anything sugary for like the next hour or two or
What the actual
whatever.
shit? What the fuck?
Yeah, they have these things that fuck with your taste buds.
That seems.
And I think
I don't trust that.
I think the idea behind it is to like cut down cravings so that you can't like if you have a craving for something and then you can't actually sate it, then you just won't eat it.
What about the people who I'll just keep eating it until this thing wears off?
I don't know, but I know that they have these little things that are like Listerine strips.
That seems like a terrible idea.
And you can just fuck with the flavors of things.
That seems like a terrible idea.
There's another one that like amplifies you know other certain tastes and whatever, and like it's a whole thing I heard about that they're working on now. It's an industry that they're fucking trying to invest in to make things fuck with flavor.
Let's have timed debuffs you can give yourself.
I mean, if you could fuck with flavors so that like because you know how it's like your tongue is like your eyes, right? When you stare at a color for a certain amount of time and then stare somewhere else, the bleed off.
Yeah, it's called neural inhibition.
So the after effect will be there, right?
It's like if I said water 40 times in a row, the word would go away and it would be replaced with a nonsense noise.
Sure. So that happens with your tongue if you jack the bitters up and you know what I mean and whatnot.
Excite them.
So if you can do something in the future that makes healthy things taste like not healthy
like
things,
candy,
yeah, then that would be amazing. So I mean, it's absolutely an industry worth fucking checking out and going into. But right now, I think they just fuck with your flavors. I think they're just at flavor.
Great.
Fucker. Yeah. Well.
No thanks.
You ever have ketchup outside of North America?
No.
You never been outside of North America, right?
Are you seriously? Seriously? Think about that for a second.
That's true. Ketchup?
I didn't have any ketchup in Japan.
No. Okay. Ketchup in certain other places, like in particular in the islands, is not what you think it is. It is a weird tomato paste that has like it's not the Heinz salty thing that you expect to get.
Do you have? You don't have. Okay, this all.
And it's not catsup.
Now it's my turn to ask a stupid question. You don't have a side branch of a bunch of French Quebecois relatives, right?
I don't think I do.
Okay, cause ketchup, le vrai ketchup, okay, it's like closer to a fucking salsa.
Yeah.
Than Heinz tomato ketchup.
The tomato paste, yes.
That's pretty much everywhere but Heinz, quote unquote, store ketchup
Heinz
or whatever.
Country. But that is, which is everywhere as far as I know in Canada and America, right? You go to a place, you order ketchup, you ask for ketchup, you get the red thing, or you get the Heinz, or you get the little packet.
But real ketchup can be anything. You can make fucking blueberry ketchup. You can make fucking green ketchup.
But what you actually get in a lot of other places is this other thing. And like, for example, back in Grenada, the main brand was Grace tomato ketchup, and Grace tasted like shit. It was not, there was no salt to it at all. It really just tasted like crushed tomatoes and like weird ground spice. And and it was just like not, it didn't make your thing taste better. It just made it taste like shit. And like, I don't know, I guess if you got used to it, if that's what you thought it was the whole time in your life, then it would be fine. But like after getting accustomed to normal Heinz ketchup, like going elsewhere and having that was like fucking terrible. Whereas other things, when you get homemade, like if you get like homemade guacamole, it's always better.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this shit, like, oh, we're making like homemade tzatziki is amazing.
Yep.
But homemade ketchup is fucking garbage.
Some things have been improved. You know what it reminds me of? Reminds me of, hey Pat, you like Chinese food or you like Thai food or whatever, right? Yeah, sure. I like Asian food. Man, there's this really, really authentic place. Let's go. And I'm like, I'm eating it. I'm like, yeah, this sure is authentic. I like my garbage fake version better, probably.
Yeah.
Because that garbage fake version has probably been literally altered to suit my tastes.
So I remember watching something. I don't know what it was. I think I was watching. Oh yeah. Okay. So there's a documentary about General Tao chicken, and
oh yeah, that's a fascinating documentary.
And in it, right, they go to a restaurant in China that's American-style Chinese food, where all the locals come to gawk and go, what the fuck is this? Yeah. Yeah. Where it's like, this is what they call Chinese? It's like this weird other thing that has nothing to do with actual authentic Chinese cuisine. But, like, they have it as a place where, like, if you're an American businessman, you can go there and feel at home.
And have your American-ass
American Chinese
Chow.
food. Yeah. And that exists as a functioning business, you know? Because it's that fucking weird at this point. I don't know, man. All I'm saying is, I feel like our I know that our palettes are conditioned, our tastes are like, you know, fucking like limited to a degree in some ways. And like I remember hearing about how the worst thing you can do for kids is let them eat off the kids menu, because by feeding them the kids menu, what ends up happening is you just get used to chicken finger. Palate. Excuse me, palate.
Well, that's why I like.
Yes.
Because like you said, palettes like our color swatches.
I'm sorry, I'm saying the word that I learned in art school here in Quebec. What do you want me to tell you? It's in my brain. I did it for 3 years. And for 3 years of education here, plus art, plus high school, palette was the word that was used.
Well, you're talking to a man.
I don't know what to tell you.
You're talking to a man who has a speech impediment and word salads himself to death nightly.
Yeah, this
like,
is not.
I understand.
This is not word salad. This is a classroom of teachers and students and people all using the same word.
You weren't.
And then leaving that scenario and being introduced to a world where everyone goes, ha ha! And I'm like,
but, Wooly, you weren't eating that patch of color swatches.
The palate of your mouth is
soft palate in the back where the Goa'uld tunnel through to get to your brain.
It is weirdly limited because you give kids menus and all they end up doing is being like, I want chicken fingers, ketchup, I want fries, and maybe I'll eat a fish stick if I'm feeling daring. And then that bland taste is all they really will ever accept. And then the moment you have to switch it off to real food plates, they're like, get this away from me, and then they become picky eaters.
Yeah.
So you have to give them smaller portions of what you eat normally and make sure that they know what adult food tastes like from an early age. Otherwise, that restricted palate is what they're going to stick with and be fussy about the entire time.
I was born into a household defined by fucked up weird food habits in which all three children had bizarre eating things. I can't smell a goddamn thing. This highly limits the amount of tastes that I can appreciate, which lead to me being a very picky eater. However, I was not nearly the pickiest eater in the house. That went to my sister, because for her, it had nothing to do with taste. It had to do with the fucking food on the plate. Did the mash touch the fucking steak? Can't eat it. Like, crazed. Meanwhile, I got my fucking brother over here with a fucking passion flaky. You know those things?
Yeah.
He was that fucking piece of shit that would pop the fucking thing in two, lick all of the goddamn shit out, then crunch it back together, and then chew on it like it's a biscuit, like a fucking freak.
That's super weird. Yeah. Steph's a weird one because I like the whole thing was she had a whole like fuck this, I don't want to eat this, super limited, picky, fussy thing at first, and a lot of that was based on not taste or flavor but texture.
Texture's bad, dude.
But that texture was the only thing that mattered.
Yeah.
In terms of preference.
It's a big deal.
I never had that. I'm like, wait, so the taste of this thing being amazing doesn't matter to you.
I have eaten things that flavor-wise, when they hit the tongue and the palate and all that shit, this is good, but the texture, like, ruined it for me. And for the texture weirdos, everyone's got the different ones. For me, like, spongy or rubbery feeling doesn't, like... I like the taste of okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki,
Yeah. I like the taste.
Yeah.
It's pleasant.
Yes.
I will spit it out onto my fucking plate because it feels like
slime.
It's the slime and the fucking rubber.
It's delicious slime.
Fuck. It makes me anxious to think about right now.
Wow. Okay. I don't have that. Like, texture for me is so, like, it's there. And it's clearly there because I prefer, you know, I can get chicken or I can get chicken with a little bit of crisp on the edge of
Yeah,
that.
totally, whatever.
You want, you know, texture matters, right? You want a little bit of crunch sometimes. You want a little bit of this and that. But
you're doing that weird sous vide shit. You want to sear your steak on one side before you eat it.
crispy bacon versus not crispy bacon. You don't want the soft, flabby bacon.
I do want the soft bacon.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I want it crispy. Cripsy, as my grandma
I
would say.
think most bacon is horribly overcooked.
I want it crunch. I want chips. I love the fucking crunch, man.
I like the crunch is fun, but the charcoal's too much.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm down. I'm
yeah.
super down with the black. Yeah. But all that to say, it's never been such a priority that I would throw out the good tasting thing just because of that texture. You know, that's always a weird one to me. Although a rubbery ass steak is really annoying. You have to when it's like too fucking, just you can barely get into it. You can barely bite it open. But yeah, man.
Man, no thanks on that.
It's I think texture comes in when it's like what is it, like organ meat? Like
yeah.
Organ meat is the best place where texture fucks you up. If you have liver, if you have the biggest problem with liver or tongue or any of that, not
tongue's the worst
meat.
because the texture is that of your tongue.
Yeah.
And it feels like you are eating your fucking tongue.
But like, and they have like serve up chicken hearts sometime as well. And
I've had chicken hearts. They're
but it's
okay.
just there's a you know that part of the turkey sometimes you bite in and you're like, oh, I hate
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
No,
Just a little chewier. Just a little bit.
And it feels like you're biting into mashed potato, but it kicks in with this organy flavor.
Yeah.
Fuck
Some
that.
people love that.
Hate that. Fucking plate ruined.
You don't want to eat the organs?
Gotta grab the napkin and spit it out.
Yeah.
It's not pleasant. All right. Fuck, now I'm kind of hungry.
I know.
Damn.
I ate lunch right before I came over here. I
didn't.
saved myself from that
I woke up.
disaster.
I had a Red Bull,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna sit here and starve.
Oh, man. You know what? You don't need to eat. You just got energy.
That's true.
It's...
How was your week?
My week was, overall, honestly, fairly dull.
Unexciting?
Didn't really, in terms of the media consumed that we would usually talk about on this here podcast.
Video games?
I actually went back to Dying Light, of all things, because I saw it was on sale. I was like, oh yeah, I had that, but I never got really far. That game's great. And if it's still on sale, I would highly recommend that people pick it up, because it's super fun. Because it's the only game I can think of after Mirror's Edge that actually has like parkour as a mainstay of the gameplay.
Wow, way to shit on Haze. Or Fuse?
What game are you talking about?
The first-person shooter that also had parkour in it with the dumb name. And it was terrible.
Brink?
Oh,
Thinking
yeah,
of Brink?
maybe that's the one.
Wait, the fact you can't even be sure what game you're talking about.
Fuck all of them. Fuck all of them. That's
Brink
what I said.
sucks. Brink fucking sucks. I was excited for that game, and then it came out. I was like, no thanks.
Parkour.
Let's see. Watched this week's episode of JoJo, at which point I'm gonna talk very carefully here.
Yeah.
It has been a big meme for like a decade plus of it just works.
Yes.
Now, I'm not actually that familiar with part 5.
Okay.
The part that I never anticipated was that in the initial confusion of, wait, what happened? How does that work? You are explicitly told exactly how it works, only for you to go, that doesn't make fucking sense.
So
That literally makes no sense at all.
So
I don't get it.
we hit the credits this week, and yeah, let's just talk around it. That's fine. We hit the credits this week, and the first question I was asked was literally, wait, how does this work? And I was like, how does it work? And you're like, and she's like, yeah,
It just
I'm
works.
I'm like, wait, you are asking me how this works?
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, why are you repeating it? And I'm like, here, hold on. you're asking me, and I type it into Google.
How
does King Crimson work? And then it just goes, and she's like, "Oh no."
By the way,
I'm like, "Oh yeah."
It almost feels like David Productions knew, because the ever fantastic video "How Does King Crimson Work?" came out 3 years prior to the day of the airing of that video.
So the fucking
I don't know how it works.
The fucking thing pops up, and it's just like, "Welcome to the second largest meme. The things you know are ora ora ora, muda muda.
The time has stopped to say how long.
Right, that's number 1.
Yeah, all that.
Welcome to number 2, and she goes, "Oh my god, seriously?" And I'm like, "Yes." Right? And like, let's try to talk about it. And we went through the basics, but it's like, no, you're not going to figure this out.
Given the information we have in the last episode that we watched, and the explanation that is directly given to the viewer, the explanation and the events that occurred are completely incompatible. Completely incompatible.
And it also changes depending on whether you are... It's like, what's your frame of reference? Is it the past or the... Anyway... The frame of reference changes the events.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is just nonsense. But most importantly, what I was waiting for was the sound effect.
Yeah.
And we heard a little like a bell ring. Like it was like a ding. But there was nothing.
Like a chime.
So I'm waiting for the sound effect drop.
That'll be next week.
Because Dio's clock stopper.
Oh, it's great.
Is the best.
Oh, it's super good.
In terms of sound design, that thing is radical. And I really want to see them not. I don't even think you're gonna one it up, but I want to see you do it justice in a similar way.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've come since then. We've gotten Kira, fucking the sound of things rewinding,
great,
and getting sucked backwards.
Perfect.
Was awesome.
Yeah.
So like now you've got sound design bars to fucking clear. So please do it.
It's just such a weird introduction. That is the total opposite of every single JoJo villain up until this date. Because JoJo villains have been given, here's a power set. What can they do with it? I don't know. That's the whole, like, last arc of any of them. What are they doing? I don't know. How does Cars turn into a squirrel? I don't know, right? Etc. What's Dio? I don't know. What's Kira doing? I don't know. What's King Crimson do? This. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
And then Araki himself was like, "Yeah, I don't know either, man."
Isn't there I feel like there was a line somewhere from later in part 5 where Giorno says, "I don't know how my stand works."
Possibly. If so, I don't remember.
I don't really get it myself, whatever.
That's bullshit, but I believe it.
Yeah, it's bullshit, but it's finally Friday. Finally Saturday. That is my favorite fucking...
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So JoJo's cool. That remains exciting. I'm glad that we're in the I guess you would call it the second half now.
Mm-hmm. I want to say that so that's the thing is we got here way faster than I thought, but then I also looked and I saw, I'm like, oh wait, that was 19 episodes.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm like, that flew by. But because I was really, really highly anticipating White Album, and boy, man, do I fucking love White Album and its overall everything. And the fact that they got Bakugo in there as the voice actor.
I really like White Album as a stand because it is not a man that stands around and punches or does a thing. It's Iceman.
Yeah.
It's like you're fighting fucking Iceman from the X-Men. You know, like...
It's his armor. It's a ridiculously rad idea of coating yourself with it.
The goofy fucking weirdos that aren't punch ghosts
and
are cool.
And the fact that something that strong and that good and that, like, useful gets a name like White Album, and then it amplifies with Gently Weeps is like, oh, you're giving significance to the things that matter. It's super cool. That's a really great, like, this is the dividing line between the chaff and the shit that matters.
The only real problem I'd have, I have two problems with part 5. One got really bad in the last episode, and I'm like, because we finally got Bruno's backstory, and I'm like, get out of here, Giorno. Get out of the intro get out of this part. Who cares?
Right.
You were a sad kid, and you didn't... your dad was a fucking evil vampire.
He has a dream.
Shut up. Who cares? Drugs. Drugs are evil and shot my dad.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Surprisingly normal.
Yeah.
All things considered, pretty normal backstory.
Real... Well, not the murder part, but the very realistic... Well, by comparison, backstory to every other person
up until
ever.
the point where it's like, I am now going beyond the point of no return.
Yeah,
like, I'm making a
until
switch
that
here.
one specific moment. There.
Yeah, you know.
And the other part is, oh man, these villains of the week are pretty tough. Good thing we killed them so that we could stop them from killing the guy that we're planning to kill.
Did you see
what? Like,
yeah.
Could you? Could you imagine if every character that have fought them at this point all just teamed up and attacked this guy all at the same time?
Did you see that fictional comic where Bruno's like, here she is, and then like the boss is like, oh my god, it's my darling daughter, thank you so much. I did see that.
Yeah, that's how part 5 should have ended.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I'm so happy.
Stop selling drugs. Okay.
What do you? Yeah, I'll give you anything. Yeah, no problem. Drugs done. Fuck drugs.
Yay, everything was fine.
Oh, man.
But yeah, JoJo's great. Everybody loves JoJo. I also had... Now, normally this wouldn't be interesting enough to come into even talking about this podcast, but I had somewhat of a fascinating discussion with a former member of the game industry over the weekend. Or Friday, rather.
Did you?
I did. Did you see any of this, Wolves?
The winds blew, but what happened?
So let's go into some backstory for those of you who may not be aware. Clifford Bleszinski is a man who worked on a ton of games.
Huge.
He worked on Jazz Jackrabbit. I'm not personally familiar with what his involvement with Jazz Jackrabbit was. Worked as a level designer on, I think, a couple Unreal Tournament games, which those games had great levels. And I believe he was the creative director for most, if not all, of the first 3 Gears games, the good ones. At which point he kind of catapulted into the limelight and like, look at me, I'm like not like a Warren Spector or Kojima, but like a known director, right?
Dude huge.
Wants everyone to call him Dude Huge.
Yeah. Well, he is.
That part's weird because I don't get it. Like, I actually just don't get the nickname at all. But kind of flamboyant, kind of rock star type personality director thing. Showed up in that Mega 64 video with Kojima. That was great. Seemed like a pretty normal guy, maybe a little bro-ish, but whatever. He quit or he retired from Epic and then made a shit zillion dollars investing into Oculus because then Oculus got bought by Facebook and the shares went high, so he got to be super rich. Good for you, man. This was then followed by him coming out of retirement, which, if you've seen the Crowcat video about Lawbreakers, in the interview he gave about coming out of retirement, the words were, I went to publishers and said, I want to make another $1 billion IP. Now that's a pretty big fucking chip on your shoulder. That's presumptuous, right? And then Lawbreakers happened. Everybody knows about Lawbreakers. I think there's one person playing it right now. I've also been informed that the podcast's listener peak is higher than Lawbreakers' all-time peak on Steam ever, as just a little, point of comparison there. And Lawbreakers horribly failed, which sucked for everybody, including Nexon, who bankrolled it. And then came, oh god, I fucking forgot the name of it. Would you believe it? Radical Heights. Well, you remember Radical Heights?
Yeah,
we did a video.
Took a look at it. Mm-hmm.
That video sucked because the game's too boring. Like, we didn't really have a whole lot to go on there, other than the fact that we were able to point out quite accurately the only people in here playing are people making their own Radical Heights videos. That was a bad game. That was a trend chaser. That was a big waste of money. This was then followed by, God, what was his name? I think his name was Mr. Lajoie on Twitter saying, "Don't worry, guys. Female characters are coming to the game soon." And then 7 minutes later, Cliffy B went on Twitter to go, "Yeah, company's dissolved. Bosky Productions is no more. Radical Heights is dead. Everyone's fired. Okay, goodbye." Ooh. Ah. No good. No good. Firing your company over Twitter, not the best. It reminds me of, do you see the Hard Times article about Reggie?
Which one?
Which game industry employees marvel as person leaves job by choice.
Ah. Yeah.
That sucks.
It's a pretty funny headline.
This was followed by Mr. Blazinski talking about how he never took a salary when he worked on Lawbreakers. So, you know, he's a good guy, and that he paid everyone months and months of severance, which was immediately disputed by employees going, "No, you didn't." Which the reply was, "Well, I like to think I did." Which isn't how money works, but okay. Fine. So over the weekend, or actually over the past couple months, Cliff has been very sad because no one cares anymore. No one pays attention to him. And it really looks like he's very upset that when Reggie retired, everyone was like, "Oh, we're going to miss you, Reggie. You're the man. My body will always be ready," etc. But no one paid him any attention when he retired, which is not, he didn't actually retire. He lost his job because the company went under. And so I pointed out to him, he made a post that said, "Everyone wants me to get back into the game business and make video games again." But I'm like, whatever. And he posted this funny screenshot of him chilling in like 90s, I don't know, pop workout attire, I guess. I point out, like, no one's saying that, Cliffy. No one cares. It's not your fault that you don't know how to make games that people like anymore. Now, that was my little poke fun at this guy. Very funny to me. Burn away. What ensued was not what I expected. Particularly not from somebody who worked for a long time in the games business.
What ensued?
I did not expect what is my genuine belief to be Cliff Blazinski's sock puppet account to start harassing me for hours because I was bald. Which, good one. You got me. And then when I blocked that account and the comment I made got more likes than Cliffy's original post, for Cliffy B himself to wade in and poke fun back using such great comebacks as, "Well, I don't have to work a day in my life because I'm rich," which seems tasteless and disgusting, considering the primary complaint would have about someone's behavior being that they fired everyone and didn't give a shit. At which point, when I pointed that out, did you see the wedding photo, man? Because that's my favorite part.
What was
when
the wedding
everyone
photo?
in the world is saying, "No, jackass, people are mad at you because you fucked your employees over," he posted a photo of him hanging out at an employee wedding, or a former employee wedding of Bosky employees, literally going, look, see? They don't hate me. Huh? Fuck. I can't think of a single sadder thing in the world. That's like posting a picture of your fucking fake girlfriend from Canada. That is like, "Look, see? People don't hate me. Look, I'm there in the photo with them. Look, we're all smiling, see?" There are so many things to unpack here. One, I'm just a fucking whoever streamer / podcaster, right?
Z-tier shit.
Whatever,
Tier
right?
Celeb.
The dude's a fucking millionaire. What does he even care? Like, for real, what does he even care? And two, bro, that's a bad way to... And all I can think of is that the same kinds of things that lead to what's more important than everyone losing their jobs is that the games that I made failed and I'm sad about it, so please pity me on Twitter for the past 6 months, are that, oh no, my ego. And I went back and checked. Sure enough, the only slapbacks against me came once mine passed his likes, which meant that his ego would have been damaged. And all I can think of is like, wow, Cliff Bleszinski, as a person / developer, has turned out to be the exact person that I jokingly thought he was, which is a man shoved up his own ass and ego who cannot handle criticism, despite being wealthy, and doesn't genuinely understand why people are upset. It's like, making fun of people who work for a living is probably the most out-of-touch, dickbag, rich person thing you could possibly do. Because almost everybody has to work for a living. And people don't appreciate you making fun of that. But that's just me, though. That fizzled out. It ended up like, look, I'm at Mardi Gras! Was the end of that. But just like, I don't know, man. I really like those Gears of War games, and I hear Jazz Jackrabbit's fantastic.
All I have to say is, as a gamer who has played Gears of War 1,
yes,
I am a huge fan of that game.
Yeah,
that game
it's a
was
great game.
Very fun. I like the Hammer of Dawn.
It's a cool weapon.
I like General Ram.
Yeah, he's a decent villain.
I like the Roadie Run.
Yeah, it's good.
I felt it felt good to do the Chainsaw Bayonet.
Yeah.
I like Gears of War.
This is a good game.
That's a good game.
That's a good game.
Made by some good people.
Yes.
That's how I feel.
I also... And this is where we get into who knows. But when you get into this kind of public spat, people come out of the woodwork to tell you their stories. Right? And you always have to take them with a grain of salt because they could just be fucking made up. But my favorite was somebody who wrote into my stream the other day who said that they met Cliffy at PAX East, I think, when he was demoing Lawbreakers, and said that he was a big fan and to thank him because the Gears series had helped him make a bunch of friends. Right? You know, clan stuff. To which the reply came back like, you should make some new friends with Lawbreakers.
That's pretty funny.
Which is pretty funny. And, like, I hope it's real. Can't verify it, right? Unverifiable. But even if it's still pretty funny.
That's a pretty funny thing to say. that's good shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Guy seems like a fucking jackass, and you would expect better.
Yeah. I found there was an interesting account that I kind of wanted to just. I was like, oh, there's some fun posts happening here. Mm-hmm. I tried to follow a theme team.
Ha! That's funny.
I was like, oh, there's some fun posts happening here, but unfortunately that didn't last. So
that's funny because a lot of people were asking me why you were following Cliffy B's sock puppet account.
I saw some posts that I wanted to find. I wanted more of that content.
You know what the funniest thing in the world is to me?
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Well, you have an active Twitter presence. I have an active Twitter presence. People talk shit. That's fine. That's part of the game, right? But you know what's weird? When somebody's talking shit and it's just like lame. It's lame. It's not strong. And you click on their name and you see that they've never made a non-reply tweet ever. Ever. That they've got 35 posts since 2017. And 19 of them have a picture of your face in them. So that when you look at the left, you know, like the media snapshot, it's just your face. It's literally just a picture of your face over and over and over and over. And you go,
Now,
this seems like a real person. This seems
to be
like this
fair,
person's main Twitter account.
To be fair, you're pretty fucking bald.
I'm pretty bald.
And you do sit in your dungeon basement.
I do sit in my dungeon basement.
And you do stream for lack of having any other job.
That's correct. It is a pathetic existence.
These are all...
Yeah, it's accurate. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah. You good there, Willie? You good? How you doing?
I I just wanted more content. That's all.
You know what my favorite part is? So, Cliff responded to me once the likes passed the likes on his video. On his comment. And I thought that was funny. But somebody pointed out to me that Cliff's actual response to me personally came within like 10 minutes of me blocking Theme Team. Which... It's one of those things you can never, ever, 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 ever find out.
But you suspect
whose sock puppet is whose, right?
You have a suspicion? Is that what you're saying?
But that was about as suspicious as it gets, really. And the idea that a long-term game developer, at one time, like a big person in the industry, would feel so insecure as to go after this. You know what? Let me put it to you this way. Alpha Gamboa had a really good post, which was the equivalent of like, this is the equivalent of God coming down from the heavens and walking through the entire kingdom to yell at Shrek in his swamp. Like, come on, bro.
Once again, as a gamer,
yes.
As a gamer that appreciated how awesome Gears of War was, I hope to see another game come from the man that made Gears of War. I think that would be really cool.
I think he could make a good game.
I would love to see another video game.
Absolutely.
I'm sad to hear that Cliffy B doesn't want to make games anymore. I hope he makes more because I really, really liked Gears of War.
Here's the other thing, right? Is this the kind of thing I always wonder?
And if you've got good ideas, you got good ideas.
Is that when you see this kind of behavior, even though it's not fair, they're not actually related, in my heart, I then have to start to wonder how much of that stuff that I liked was this person actually responsible for? Right?
Hey,
so
man.
take a look at
Unreal, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what my biggest disappointment about this whole Twitter kerfuffle is? At one point, Cliffy added Ice-T in this exchange, saying one day, sometimes you just gotta go all at final level on trolls, which is Ice-T's Twitter account. This is the point. I think it was like Friday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I wasn't doing it. I was in my fucking pajamas, where I'm like jumping up and down going, oh my God, please, 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 Ice-T. Please, I want to fight Ice-T today. My life will be like...
Oh, he's too busy doing monologues on SVU, man.
Yeah, I know. But like the idea, man.
Body count is back.
That like Twitter spat escalates to beef with the rap game. My all-time dream.
Then Coco gets involved. Yeah. Yeah, you can't take on body count. You can't take him on. Don't think about it for a second.
When I was a little kid, I remember thinking, I want to get into a shit post 280 character argument with that guy on Law and Order.
If you could spend money to boost tweets to make sure...
I would have boosted
to make sure that he
make
sees
sure.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ice-T has
I would have paid
verify.
1,000 fucking boosters to just fucking kick that thing up. So it's unavoidable.
It's the first thing on his phone when he picks it up.
Oh, man. What the fuck is this? Oh, man. The other thing is, like, the way that got posted felt like they thought they were, like, Cliffy thought that him and Ice-T were friends because they worked together on Gears. I don't think that's the case.
What a cool game, man.
Gears of War 3 is a fucking great game.
Oh,
what a great game.
I really should get around to it because I really only, unfortunately, played the first one. But
the first one's great. The second one's pretty good. The third one is fucking awesome. Third one's really, really good.
Cool. For sure. Yeah.
So that was a fun little adventure. That was a fun little Friday afternoon diversion.
Social media
Social media is free.
The world we live in.
And sometimes it's terrible, but other times...
But, like...
It gives you gifts you wouldn't otherwise be able to get.
When bald basement-dwelling trolls like you...
Yeah, that's right.
...can actually reach up...
And touch you.
To creators.
Yeah.
And people that are making and shaping the industry. You know? What a world... What a time to be alive. It's
a weird world because we have all sides of it. Let's take me as bald basement troll that I am. You can range all the way from, hey, celebrated creator of this game, you seem like an idiot, versus, hey, Kira, your cat Jareth is very adorable. He looks like a pumpkin. Just any direction. Any direction.
I mean, look, like, what do you think? Like, what if Plinkett's review was a series of tweets at George Lucas?
Like, the longest chain ever?
Over the course of, like, 3 years. What happens then?
I don't know.
That's the world we're heading for.
That's amazing.
And like, it's not just games, it's every industry. Directors are on Twitter answering questions. Rian Johnson is on there, you know, talking to people that hated Star Wars. Like,
that's weird.
It's
the idea
thing.
of like a director or a creator of a thing, whatever, you know, staff, right? Going into social media posts of people going, yo, that movie sucked, and going, no, it didn't. That's fucking crazy. That's nuts.
That's where we live, man.
Somebody should tell Mike Ybarra that is crazy.
You
see that shit?
No.
Oh my fucking god. Fucking VP of fucking something. Mike Ybarra, he's a Microsoft man. Fucking slamming PC Gamer saying, oh, I can't believe these terrible quote unquote reviews. Players should just look at live streams for the coverage of Anthem.
Oh.
By the way, Microsoft has a co-marketing deal with BioWare and EA on Anthem.
Okay. Was it Mixer specifically as a recommendation?
No.
Okay.
It was not. See, that would have been too obvious.
There was always, and there still remains, there's a level of, like, you don't have access, you know, as a fan, as a viewer, as a consumer, you don't have access. And generally speaking,
you probably should.
You probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
All things considered. Because with access comes responsibility, I suppose, and
you don't want
that's not gonna. Come on, why would that? You know. Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's a fucking wild world we live in.
Yeah. Especially one where you couldn't resist the temptation to take the stick.
Listen, dude.
And just poke.
No, for real though, if I would like to get serious, Cliffy B's behavior since Radical Heights and Boss Key folded has been personally infuriating to me, because every time one of his social media posts would float up, especially right after the studio closed, like I think 2 or 3 days after the studio closed down, he had this thing of like, you know, it's tough, you know. It was basically weeks of like, poor me, my game failed. I'm like, you're rich. Who cares? No one cares. People are out of work, Cliff. But you don't care. You just don't give a shit. And the timing right now is extra appropriate. What with the fucking layoffs at EA and the fucking layoffs.
Doesn't that wedding photo prove?
It proved. Oh my god! People pointed out to me all sorts of hidden tech in that wedding photo.
Hidden tech.
One, Cliffy is slightly off to the side.
Are you going on a Photoshop conspiracy theory right now?
No.
Because I'm not having it.
I'm not. The word Photoshop will enter, but it will enter in the opposite way that you think. He's standing off just enough to the side that you can Photoshop him out quite easily. Almost like he ran into the photo to be like, look, I'm here too. But more than that, the date on that wedding likely means that the invitations were sent out before everyone got fired.
Why can't it can't be Occam's razor? It can't just be a happily family photo.
No.
Proving
See, here's the thing.
Relationship. It can't just be what it is. It's got to be.
So, if that was the case,
it's got to go under the microscope.
Wooly, here's the thing. Normally, I would agree with you. However, when somebody offers a photo like this unprompted to go, look, people like me, yes, it goes under the microscope. Because that's a weird thing to do. That is a weird fucking thing to do. That is weird. So one, invites probably got sent out before the closure. And two, he's still the guy who would write your recommendation as a point of contact for your CV. So what are you going to do? You're going to burn bridges with the guy who's your last boss on your CV? Give you bad reviews, you didn't invite him your way?
I'm just a gamer, man.
What is that?
Trying to rise up.
We're all trying to rise up, Wooly.
With that, let's take a quick, very brief word from our sponsors.
Yeah, let's do that.
It's perfect timing. Speaking of rising up,
yeah,
if you want to get the best out of your classes, if you are a student,
oh yeah,
if you need textbook solutions or expert Q&A, there's no better tool to help you ace your class than Chegg Study. Need expert help right away? Simply use Chegg Study, the app that'll help you snap a quick picture of the problems not covered in your textbook, submit it to Chegg's experts, and get a response back in as little as 2 hours.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Or
actually.
tap into Chegg's massive library of step-by-step textbook solutions, video walkthroughs, and practice sets. You can study at home or on your desktop or on the go with the Chegg Study mobile app. Subscriptions are affordably priced and can be canceled at any time. So, I know if I was a student, I would have loved to have had an ability to solve problems this quickly.
It's quite possible that had I used Chegg Study, that I may not have failed quite so many of my classes in university.
You know what? We'll chalk it up and say it would have been a pass. Alternate reality, you've got that diploma.
At least one of them.
You're throwing it up in the air, and we're taking a Polaroid, tilting it sideways, and going, thanks for everything. But not in this reality, because you didn't use it.
I didn't do shit.
If you don't want to be like current reality Pat, you should use Chegg Study. In particular, for $5 off your first month subscription, you want to head around to chegg.com/friendcast. That's chegg.com/friendcast as the promo code for $5 off your first month's subscription. Thanks, Chegg.
Thanks, Chegg. So I did have one last thing that I did with my week.
I'm gonna send a quick.
Yeah, you can send a quick little email. Yeah, okay. I had one last thing that I did my week, and it's a bizarre form of enjoyment because it is becoming more common lately, and that is video game Schadenfreude, I think is how you pronounce it. So, I have yet to play Anthem. I have no interest in Anthem. Anthem seems bad. However, Anthem's release has given me much joy. I have been having a fucking great time over the weekend talking to people about Anthem. Because would you believe that parts of that game are so fucked up as to be actually hilarious? To be very funny to hear about and see.
I have seen all kinds of bugs in terms of weird shit happening and popping into the world, and we talked briefly about the way it handles loading assets.
Yep.
In last time, and the fact that you could come in as a level 2 or 3 quick player and just join the final battle.
So it's one of those things. Now let's be really clear. This is not Fallout 76. I don't think anything's going to be Fallout 76 for a long fucking time.
Yeah, that's going to take a minute.
But this is definitely a larger shit show than, say, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay.
Which was its own bag of hilariousness. So, I've seen every bug under the sun coming out. I've seen people psycho-crushing into space by breaking loading screens and cutscenes. I'm seeing people fall through the world and get permanently stuck. I'm seeing people having every kind of enemies with no guns, enemies shooting the floor, enemies with their AI turned off, enemies that are invincible, etc. But my favorite out of all, somebody pointed me towards a tweet that apparently this person follows me, a person named Aaron Chine. So, in Anthem, your masterwork weapons, which are the super weapons, your exotics, what have you, your uniques.
The farmables.
Yes. The one that you have to grind in-game currency for dozens of hours in order to roll on one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the end-game weapons have randomly rolled stats. Now, Wolves, you don't play a lot of loot games.
But I understand what that means.
Destiny had this. Yeah. It's like you can get a really...
You can pick up multiple guns, and some will be better than others, even though they're almost identical.
Yeah, this one has extra damage, or this one has extra accuracy.
For sure.
So in Anthem, they're randomly rolled with no top or bottom to their stat limit, apparently. So they can randomly roll zeros.
So a legendary.
So a masterwork. This is the Fist of the Crucible. Masterwork Heavy Assault Launcher. I'm going to point this to Wolves so he can see that big fucking red bar, which shows that the attack is garbage. But more fun than that is its special ability. It has a combo effect, explosive. Victor's Advantage. Defeating an enemy will increase flamethrower damage by 0 for 0 seconds. Stacks to 0.
Okay. You have to... That had to be the result of, like, hitting that system up until you saw some nonsense.
Can't be, because you can't just get all those weapons.
Now,
these are rare.
But I heard there was a level you could walk to that you could load in and load out of and basically keep farming the same thing on hardest difficulty.
I don't know about that. This person seems to have just gotten a drop, and the drop is literally 0.
There was a tweet that said, put it on hardest difficulty, go to this area, kill this one thing, it's not that hard, and then you will always get a 20% or something shot at it. That's wacky.
So, in addition, Anthem has a lot of problems, but so there's an entire like...
So you got a legendary nothing.
Yeah, there's an entire like little cabal of what I would call Warframe content people. They've all hit Anthem because it's a loot shooter. So that's that gang's...
Oh, I hate that word.
It's what it is.
Oh, man, that rubs me the wrong way.
It's what that is, Wooly.
Oh, boy.
Warframe, Division, Destiny, Anthem, etc., right?
Ugh.
But that whole cabal has hit Anthem, right? Because it's, there's comparisons to Warframe. In a loot shooter, the most important thing ever is that, I found a gun.
Mm-hmm.
I found a sword. Mm-hmm. Oh, cool. This thing kicks ass. Mm-hmm. I can use that to beat up that harder thing, whatever. Or it's cool looking, at least. Or it has a weird effect. Whatever, right? Warframe has a bajillion guns. Some of them are really normal. A bunch of them are weird, right? Destiny has its exotics. They all have some goofy gimmick to them. Stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
One of these Warframe content people, someone who I'm a big fan of, Quiet Shy. I was actually just talking to her earlier. She's very kind. But she put up a video. Look, this is my masterwork minigun. Highest damaging weapon type in the game. Just spits out a bajillion ammo, right? On your harder difficulties in Anthem, your guns can't kill enemies. She expends about 80% of this thing's total magazine to kill one enemy because your abilities, your cooldowns,
yes,
those are exponentially more powerful.
Yes.
And, the combo system where you freeze them and whatnot.
And on the hardest difficulty, enemies get 8,000% stronger.
Yeah. Right? So, you use your weapon combos, right? But that means that in a loot shooter, the weakest part of your kit is the one that you're grinding for.
Okay.
That's stupid as fuck. That is stupid as fuck.
So your incentive loop is essentially something you're not going to be using.
Exactly. So why are you bothering? Well, to get the cool weird ones. Problem is, weapon types in Anthem are all the same. All the assault rifles work the same. They don't even fire differently. You get the legendary one, it might have a crazy effect, but that effect might be set to fucking 0. This game sucks, and it is fun to watch it suck. Just like how Fallout 76 was hilarious to watch it suck. Anthem is fun to watch it suck. And not only that, look at what it's in
Fallout
between.
76 doesn't have cool flying.
It doesn't. Well, sometimes it does. but not on purpose.
Right.
But look what it's in between. It's in between Resident Evil. A+, great game, right? It's in between, on the other end, Apex by the same company.
Mm-hmm.
And Division, which the fucking private test for Division felt a million times better than anything, than the full release of Anthem. And on the other end is fucking Devil May Cry. What is this game supposed to do and appeal to whom?
Loot shoot fans. Shlooter fans.
But there's a better one coming in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Sounds easily patchable.
It does not.
Number changing?
This seemed...
Okay. Numbers going up and numbers going down? It's you literally enter the key numpad into the
Okay, I was getting pissy for a second, and then you kept going. I'm like, okay, you're doing that thing. Okay. As somebody who has played a bunch of these types of games...
Shlooters.
Fuck. All right, you've ruined it for me too now. So good job. So as somebody who's played a bunch of Shlooters, and somebody who's played a bunch of games upon release that were fucked up, right? Warframe was fucked up when it came out. Destiny was fucked up when it came out. Mass Effect Andromeda was fucked up when it came out. It takes a long time to fix these things in a live game. It takes a long goddamn time.
So simply removing the threshold so that it can't hit 0 on your legendaries.
I saw people talking that the reason why that's possible is that the stacks accidentally went too high sometimes. So they might have nerfed all of those types to 0 until they fix it later.
Okay.
Which is an even stupider solution.
Because if it's RNG, it's RNG, right? So the idea that you could just squeeze that variable down and then make the guns do damage again. Sounds like numbers.
So in a loot shooter, the one thing that you look at, I think Warframe's probably the best example. Nobody gets mad when you buff the game. Nobody gets mad when you buff the player character.
Okay.
Hey, people find out that this thing is like super fucked up and broken and super good. Nobody gets mad if you leave it in.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah, that's same for fighting.
Not unless it's PvP. If there's PvP, that's different.
Oh, I'd say that applies to any genre, honestly. Like,
right?
Fun bugs, people want to keep those.
Like, you look at your Warframe, the movement thing, that was a bug, and they were like, oh, that's cool, let's integrate. But like, hey, this gun does too much damage. Yeah, okay, you got lucky, good for you. Right? But it's this thing of like, nerf the powerful stuff, but don't buff the shitty stuff. Like, Destiny's a pretty good example. It took a long time. It took a year plus for Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 to work themselves up into a better state. right? I'm not a developer and I don't know anything about development other than what people tell me, right? But it seems fairly clear that working on a game when it's not live is a lot more efficient than working on a game when it is live.
Of course.
And it takes a long fucking time to fix stuff like this. It will take over a year at least just to fix the stuff we're talking about right now, let alone anything new that happens in the future. And that doesn't change all sorts of problems with that game. Have you you played it?
Look, I can't speak for the genre, but I can speak for rolling balance changes on multiplayer
live services.
live suites. Yes,
on live services.
That's
right.
And you can make drastic reworks.
You can.
You just have to be committed to, like, you have to be committed to, like, extending the project longer than you thought you would in the tail end of it.
Yeah.
In case and there surely will be, the new issues arise from the hotfix, and then you have to have the QA team ready on that, and then ready on that, and then ready on that, and then eventually you slowly tail end it.
Well, here's the issue
I've seen it done.
that I see with that, right? When Warframe came out fucked up, it kind of got a pass from a lot of people because Digital Extremes is an indie company. And when Warframe came out, they were on the verge of bankruptcy.
I believe it was also free.
It is also free, which helps. When Destiny came out, it came out from a AAA developer, Bungie, from a AAA publisher, and thus got a lot of fucking heavy fire for why does the story make no fucking sense? Why is grinding for materials in this game the worst thing ever, etc., right?
Yeah.
And then that happened again with Destiny 2 of like, why are we doing the same fucking thing we did with Destiny 1, right? EA put out Anthem, which apparently has been worked on and off to some degree for 6 years. And it feels like it kicked out the door a year early. That does not inspire confidence in terms of the long tail and support and what have you. However, and this is now my favorite awful lie in this business, there's a 10-year plan for Anthem. Did you know that?
I've heard that before.
I heard that with Destiny from Activision.
Yeah.
By the way, Activision and Bungie not even working together anymore. For the record. Hasn't been 10 years since Destiny 1.
True, they separated.
Hell yeah, they did. But there's a 10-year plan for Anthem. You know what game had a 10-year fucking plan? World of Warcraft. We're on year fucking 15 now.
Shenmue.
Yeah, Shenmue. Yeah.
I sitting over here, hope that the shortcomings don't spell an aversion to anyone else that's willing to pick up the mantle of letting me Iron Man and customize my Iron Man.
I don't think that is a worry. What I do worry is that...
Because there's been nothing really doing that for some time now.
Yeah.
So this came along and does it.
Okay. I feel like every 2 or 3 years, me and you have the exact same conversation, and we've had multiple of them on this podcast, right? Man, Street Fighter 2 is really hot. We should make a Street Fighter 2 clone. Yeah, it's garbage, but maybe it'll do well. Man, modern military shooters are really hot. We should make a Call of Duty clone. Yeah, it's garbage, but maybe it'll do well. Man, MMOs are really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should make an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, okay, yeah, but it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but maybe this one will do really well.
Mm-hmm.
Man, MOBAs are really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should make one.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's garbage.
Mm.
Man, Battle Royale's really hot.
Mm.
And in between those last two was, wow, these games as a service shooters are really hot. And that's the weirdest one because no, they aren't, and they never were. This Anthem and Division feel like responses to how successful everyone thought Destiny was going to be.
Okay.
Because they didn't want to be late to the party like they always are. But then Destiny was not as successful as anyone thought it was going to be, and hell no, Destiny 2 wasn't.
Okay, but before Destiny, what was your Shluter?
Borderlands.
That was it.
It was it.
That was it.
And Borderlands was a weird offshoot of Diablo. And there are Diablo clones. And guess what? A bunch of Diablo clones are really, really fantastic. Torchlight is great. Path of Exile is great. Grim Dawn is apparently pretty good.
Baldur's?
No, totally different series.
Okay.
Totally different kind of game.
Okay.
Think of KOTOR,
Okay.
Diablo.
Okay.
That's the difference.
Okay. Got it. Huge. Got
The only thing that's the same is the perspective.
Okay.
Right? But Borderlands is just Diablo with guns. Right? And the Destiny was supposed to be Borderland, but Halo. It's like, it's a bandwagon that wasn't actually all that popular, and everyone fucked it up.
And they bought in, and then this is where we're at. Yeah.
Division seems fine. There are parts of that game that are fucked up.
But it's like the continued existence and success of Warframe will always provide a frame of reference for what you want to accomplish.
Yeah, but Warframe's only been really successful for like 2 years, 3 years.
But it's been around for so long.
Yeah, because it's fucking free, and that's the trick. Like, if Anthem was fucking free right now, this shit would be lighthearted. It would not be vindictive. Like, I'm laughing out of spite. I'm laughing in a mean way. If this game was free, I'd be playing it right now for shits and giggles. And I'd be like, wow, this is really fucked up. Hope they patch it. Maybe I'll come back in a couple months after they put it back.
Yeah.
Because it's free. Not having to put your 60... Because you put your $60 or your fucking 89, whatever the fuck it is out here now, and it's fucked up like a free-to-play game, that sucks.
The weird thing is sitting in a place where, like, the perspective now feels just based on the genre and its direct competitors that it's like this product is now gated behind a paywall.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, no, you're selling a video game. I would never be the one to be on the side of like, why isn't this game free?
Why is this game buy to play?
Why is this game B2P?
Why is
That's a horrible place to sit. I hate it. It's uncomfortable.
So let me
but fine.
Let me try and dive even deeper to that, because there's this weird thing that nobody really notices, right? So, and it applies to all the examples that I've talked about, right? Street Fighter, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Dota and League, etc., right? Okay. It doesn't apply to PUBG because PUBG fucked up. But let's take Street Fighter as an example. That shit is, what, fucking 92?
Yeah,
ancient.
90, I mean, fucking 91, whatever.
All right. We're going to make a fucking Street Fighter clone. All right. How many characters we got? 8. Great. We can beat Street Fighter. They got Championship Edition just came out. They have 12 now, actually.
Yes.
All right. We can beat Street Fighter. We have extra good sprites, and our game moves a little faster. It's going to come out, and it's going to beat... Hyper Fighting came out. It's actually way faster than everything on the market. Our game looks super fucking slow now. Well, that's okay. We're going to make a Fatal Fury whatever, and it's going to come out, and it's going to make Street Fighter... We're going to have more characters be just... Okay, well, the new Super Turbo came out, and it has supers, and there's even more characters now, and there's an unlockable character, and he's the fucking shit, he's crazy.
And it still costs 50 cents per game, and the crowd is still around this machine.
So
because they've been around this machine for the last
when
10
you're
years.
chasing the trend... You end up in this thing where the situation is inherently unfair. Every MMO that came out after World of Warcraft, specifically ones that came out after 2006 when Burning Crusade came out, had to deal with the fact that they didn't have as much shit in their game that WoW did.
But then you say...
Because WoW had an expansion, right? And you go, well, is it better than WoW? Not right now. Does it have as much stuff as WoW? Not right now. Why the fuck would I play that instead of WoW? You always have to, because you can only make so much game.
Because it's got a booming speaker and fatalities and digitized actors and blood.
Because it's different. right?
Yep.
You can only compete with something directly so fairly. You can only make so much shit, right? And I can immediately see it. It's like when fucking Anthem started its pre-production, Destiny probably wasn't even out yet, let alone Warframe rising from its fucking ashes, right? So like, okay, well, Destiny's gonna have this will compete with that, right? But that's not what you're competing with. You're competing with the Destiny 2 and its expansions that exist now. You're competing with Warframe that has been built up over fucking 6 years. You're competing with whatever, right? Is that fair? No. Too bad. That's the price you pay for getting in later. You have to look at the leader. You look at League of Legends, right? Most played game ever. Okay, we're going to start a new MOBA. New MOBA's going to have 20 characters. That's pretty good. How many fucking characters does League have right now? A billion?
Is it over 100?
It's a billion. Okay?
Yeah.
Well, shit, this game doesn't have as many characters as League. Is that fair? Of fucking course it's not fucking fair. Does anyone give a shit? No. Who gives a shit? That game has more.
Apex manages to be different enough because you're using teams.
And also, it's just a lot better than some of its direct competitors.
Even if it was one versus 100, it would be.
It feels better.
It would be a huge difference, yeah. But the shake-up involving teams and bringing back some of that Overwatch,
it's better and it's different,
and whatnot. Yeah, yep.
Anthem wants to, because Anthem probably looked at Destiny as its core inspiration, and then said, "You can't fucking fly in Destiny."
But yes. But you also have to look at the individual BioWare timeline of we need to swerve off of what the fuck we were just making, into something completely new. And what do we got? What can we do? What's hot? And what can we do within what's hot?
Shlooters are going to be the next big hot.
Because, as we talked about Radical Heights before, I mean, and other examples of this where you're like, the studio needs to swerve into a completely different direction in the hopes that it'll catch on in this way, to some degree, Apex, man,
Yeah.
So
and that was I wouldn't call that a swerve. For Respawn, I'd call that a pivot. Because it still feels like a fucking Respawn game.
It is, yeah. All right, yeah. Enough of the bones is there.
It feels like they took a shot of Halo and then they fucking battle royaled it.
The most Mass Effect bones you'll see in Anthem is dialogue trees.
You mean the one or the other dialogue trees that mean absolutely fuck all?
Yeah.
Those ones?
Yes, those ones.
So BioWare is fascinating because it's like, oh, we got to swerve to something. I don't know. How about swerving towards RPGs?
They tried and they weren't allowed to.
Well, that's a whole different problem, isn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And also, even if they did swerve back towards RPGs, the people who made those, there is more what people, what Plague's post about having to put air quotes around developers when people leave?
Yes.
Modern day Obsidian is more closely related to the BioWare you probably have in your head than BioWare is. There are more people at Obsidian that worked on Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and shit like that than there are at BioWare. Mass Effect? No. There's still a ton of Mass Effect people there, I'm sure. But, those people aren't there. Fuck, the lead developer, the fucking director of Dragon Age 1 quit the company when he saw what Dragon Age 2 was going to be. And he was right.
So your new activity consists of jumping on board the train and seeing where it's going.
Yeah, I love it.
But more like
I give somebody a video camera to go on the train for me.
Yeah, or I was gonna say you get in the back with the hobos doing the fucking train hopping.
Yeah.
You're not actually buying a ticket.
No. Anthem bums me out. So I've been saying, BioWare's probably gonna cease to exist when the Anthem development. Yeah, what do you even call it? Like the fucking
development cycle,
the cycle and the roadmap, and and people are like, but Dragon Age 4, Dragon Age 4 isn't gonna come out, guys. that game is No, that's not going to happen. I don't, at this point, I don't for a second believe that Dragon Age 4 will come out. And this is kind of a weird catch-22, because I'm wrong a lot, but on the ones that are more likely to depress you, I end up being right more often than not. And this is pretty depressing. How'd you fuck up a Mass Effect game, man? Those games are awesome.
I think it's as simple as more time in the oven was needed, but there was not allowed.
That seems to be... Did you... Every interview...
But that's how you fuck it up, though.
Every interview that comes out about Apex Legends is like, yeah, EA didn't even look at us when we were developing Apex. They didn't give a shit. And I assume it's because they thought that whatever the fuck Respawn put out would fail, and they would just absorb Respawn employees into the Battlefield monster or whatever.
6 years. 6 years. That's a very long time. That's a very long time.
So, ever since the 360 era, HD era, blah, 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 game development time...
That number is not real.
It's real.
No, it's real, but it's not real in the sense that I promise you that... I've seen this way too many times. That number has a restart point in it.
Yes, it does. It might have two.
And I want to say possibly two, because
I suspect there are 2 dead anthems that we don't see.
Even if a game has a 6-year development and comes out being shit, there's a level of 6 years of polish still shows in places.
You can't avoid it.
You will see it.
So, yeah,
this type of thing absolutely looks like you're looking at a staggered and chopped 6-year timeline.
I would like to...
And this was rebooted at some point.
Actually go into this a little more in detail. So this has been happening more and more and more and more, which is games that come out and they're like, this game's been under development for 5 to 10 years. Let's use Anthem and Final Fantasy 15 as examples, right? You play them, and the first word in your mouth is bullshit.
Yeah.
You worked on this for 10 years. Bullshit. You worked on this for 5.
Too human.
Yeah. Right? No. Pre-production and art assets and concept art, yeah, they totally got worked on 9 years ago, 6 years, whatever. Every single one of those got fucking thrown out.
We had a vertical slice. It got shared, which got sent around. Everyone saw it.
We blew a year on a vertical slice that management said was garbage. So complete restart.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because when a game comes out and it looks like Anthem, it can't have been under development for 6 years.
No.
That's impossible.
24 months ago, something happened and was like, hey, maybe we got to take... You know what I mean? Like
it should be pointed out that
that's the type of thing that happens.
That both Destiny games were essentially made in 1 year.
Right.
Despite coming out 3 years apart, they've been very clear in interviews that, like, shit got broken and had to be totally rebooted for Destiny 1. So the game got rushed. And then they did the exact same fucking thing again for Destiny 2.
And I promise you, as well, there's always a third conversation. And that third conversation is, fuck, I think we got to do it again. And then they look, and then they make sense of emails, and some calls are made.
Yeah.
And then they come back, and they go, not this time. It's got to ship. Absolutely not.
No, you don't understand. This is fucked up.
No, we just...
You're not going to get another 2 years on this.
Can't do it. Nope. Then it comes and it is what it is.
Yep.
There's always a third call.
That guaranteed happened to Destiny 2. And that is me saying that on my own, like, faith.
Yeah.
Because the original planets in Destiny 1 were supposed to be in Destiny 2. It was supposed to be that thing where, new game, okay, here's all the old areas too.
And then
But because they had to fucking kneecap the dev team halfway through, kneecap development halfway through, gotta cut all that. Well, fuck, that's a pretty big fucking deal, isn't it?
And then the guy on the phone goes, absolutely not. It ships, it's gotta ship. Fucking ship it. That's it. And hangs that phone up and picks this one up and goes, yo, Respawn, what's up? What you got? What you looking at? And then
can you ship? And they're like, yeah, totally.
and then
we can totally ship.
You know, and then we create our fictional fucking timeline.
I don't think that's fictional at all. I've been saying that since the beginning.
Hypothetical.
Everything about the fucking Apex feels like it got kicked out. Apex feels like a game that never got restarted, and they knew exactly what the fuck they were doing from day one, and it got kicked out a month early.
But we know for a fact that like that they said there was a pivot. You know, we know for a fact there was, but.
And then you look at shit like Wraith's fucking face, and you're like, there's no way that was fucking final. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
I think the Wraith costume is the single most common costume I've seen because it covers her fucking face. The fucking medic one.
Okay.
Covers her face from the nose down, fixes that character right up.
I thought I was looking at a bug when her hair didn't load in because it looked like it, and it was like no, that's actually an outfit.
She's
it's
just
like,
hideous.
But why does it look like it's like the asset's missing?
She looks unfinished.
Like when you have a shaved head, it looks different. But anyway, cool.
Yeah, that's a long rant, but yeah, Anthem is like fucked up in a hilarious, and then I get sad way.
Do you really?
I really love a lot of BioWare games, but that company does. Game dev is weird, right? So say you look at fucking.
It was a yes or no question.
Yeah, I know. But look at Spike Lee, right?
I don't wanna.
No, exactly, right? Hey man, I really like this Spike Lee movie. Oh, then Spike Lee went crazy.
He got an Oscar,
right? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But in game dev, it's like, oh man, I love BioWare. Which BioWare? This BioWare that had these people in it? Or the BioWare name, which has these people in it, right? Because it's all nebulous and fucking weird.
Yeah.
What's up with you, man?
Well, yeah. So I guess.
Oh, please tell me. So I've been playing Anthem.
I did a couple things. I'm not going to talk much about Apex and Tetris because those are just...
They're the shit, but you know what they are, guys.
Yeah, I'm sinking time into them, and that's the end of that.
I unlock Mirage. He's cool.
I happened to get into a game where me, JJ, and Taffel all were in the same fucking top list at the same time. It was pretty sick. That's nuts. And shout outs to JJ for crushing it on Tetris 99. Beast. Super cool. Yeah.
She's a proper fiend, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One of them secret, like those the ones that you're warned about that you never knew, you know, like secretly like, oh yeah, I know I've been crushing Tetris all these years. I've been waiting for this moment. It's my time to shine. So yeah, I guess I'll say did the Titsnfall. Did the Titanfall 2 community night, and we had a blast. We jumped on Origin. Those numbers shot up for that night.
Yay.
We got a whole lot of people hanging out in the network and played some matches. And, man, God, I just miss the flow of the game. It's the funnest loop.
Yep.
It's the funnest game loop, I think, in any shooter that I've ever played. And I don't play a lot of them, so fair enough.
No, not Bungie said that the trick to game development is figure out a fun 30 seconds that you can trick players into doing over and over. Right?
Like, you feel awesome jumping out of your Titan, which is a failure.
But then you feel even more awesome when you land on that other guy's Titan.
And then you get to call yours back down, which is calling your Titan in is not only an event, it's a super, it's a drop, you know what I mean?
It's an ult.
And you get to fucking play this higher level battle while, you know, it's just such
and then all the other players turn into fucking peons.
You know, and if you're the first Titan on the field, then like you can start just wrecking house, but also everyone's little ants and you gotta squash the ants. You know what I mean? And then when both teams get tightened up, it's a whole thing. And then
it's cool, man.
It's so much fun, you know? And the entire night, like if you go back and you watched it, I was garbage. I was the bottom of the list in almost every single game I played.
Yeah, whatever. Me too when I played it.
It was
fun.
So much fun. Man, I have so much room in my heart for that game.
What's your favorite Titan again?
Legion.
Okay.
So I am
Scorch.
Yeah, Scorch is a good one. That's a good one too. Right? Put the gas down, light it up.
I remember Scorch being like way too good, and then they nerfed him, and I was like, I don't even care.
Yeah. No.
I don't even care. He's so fun.
You know, and we're all just like, my boy's dropping in, and he's got the goddamn the giant gun. I want my heavy arms gun, and I'm gonna use it. You know.
Oh yeah, that's why you like Legion, of course.
Oh god.
It's a big fucking gun,
and it just keeps fucking. Where are you going? You ain't going anywhere. It's so fun. So we played some of the newer maps that came out after I had stopped playing, including the training room map is now a map to play against everybody in. So the Gauntlet is a room you can fight in, and it's amazing.
That sounds cool.
Because you're always on the wall.
That sounds cool.
There is no time to hit the floor. You are on the wall the whole time. Every gunfight is in midair. Every single one. The double jump, the fucking grapple, the stim. Man, just wow, you know? And I just really gotta get
you enjoy playing with the future abilities that will be turned into characters.
Yeah,
Legends.
exactly. The skeleton is there.
I went back and looked at all the tacticals in Titanfall 2. I'm like, oh, that's a character. Yeah, that's a character.
Yeah,
oh, that's a character.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna. No. So what I really do need to do is go and actually get the hang of bunny hopping for real, because I was not doing any of that, and like that's a huge difference as well. But. Yeah, just having a really good time, you know, playing matches with the network. There's an issue in terms of like the best way to queue up with a lot of people, and like it's tricky to like play together because I was trying to play with Skull, and it was pretty much like you have to either invite the whole network and then kick one out, but you can't really kick people, or queue up at the same time and count it down. So it wasn't really made for, hey, you and me make a room, and then we can invite the network afterwards. We couldn't do that, unfortunately, and that sucked. But all that to say that, you know, I was feeling comfy with my alternator, doing my thing, and then got a recommend to be like, yo, why don't you switch to the Ava 8? Why don't you...
why not
shotgun it? You know, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I sucked last time I tried it out, but okay. And then it started working out, and I was like, oh, fuck. You know, and I was like, yeah. And then someone was like, yo, why don't you try L-starring it? And I was like, oh, okay, that's I don't know, I never really, and then I picked it and it worked out. I was like, yo, you know, and I got my one moment. I got a one moment right before the end of the stream where I was like, yeah, I got like 3 kills right there, and like almost working on a 4th because we were doing different game modes, and we did like hardpoint capture and stuff. The number one thing, we had a really good time. Thanks to anyone that tuned in and played. The number one thing I heard the entire time was, fuck, I'm a PS4 player. I don't have it on PC, sorry.
PS4 version was more popular. I think it is actually still the most populated version.
And that happened so much that I'm like, you know, I guess I kind of have to do another one.
You're just going to have to?
I think I just have to do a PS4 night. I don't have a PS4 progress unlocked.
Yeah,
save.
So you'd be a generic.
You know what I mean?
Bro.
I mean, I'm gonna maybe go and just do some just to get some stuff.
Maybe.
But like, that's one of the biggest hindrances. But like, there was more people going, oh fuck, I only have it on a PS4 than there were people going, fuck yeah, I'm waiting. And that's a huge sign.
That's a bummer.
That's a bummer. Yes. So I think there's no choice really there. You know, and you know, my friends rightfully pointed out, like, dude, you haven't done that for like, you haven't gone back to play fighting games on other platforms, like, and I'm like, yeah, I guess, but in this case it's kind of special because we're trying to resurrect the dead a little bit.
I mean, Titanfall is the best fighting game of all time. I don't know if you know that. So it's different.
I won't argue.
Yeah, sure. It's a stupid statement. How could you argue?
So yeah, that happened. That was a great time. And just, I will say that switching back to Apex later that same night.
Oh, it's slow.
I was like, wow, I want that double jump.
Well,
you know, but it's going to happen every time.
It's possible that Octane or Prophet
yeah,
will give you your double jump.
Or don't forget about float while you ADS in midair.
Yeah, that too.
That's an ability.
Though in Apex, that would seem like a really good way to get yourself killed instantly.
Yep. Agreed. Sounds like a way to get killed. But nonetheless, the rate at which people die in Titanfall as well is a really important.
Oh, it's like a fucking blank.
Yeah, you know. So that's a fucking great time. Got to go back in there. That's what I did.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna get up and grab some energy.
Sure. I also, excuse me, I took a quick look at Travis Strikes Again. I don't know if you checked that out at all. No More Heroes 2.5. Not really. Took a look.
I looked at a video of it
Okay.
and went, "Is this seriously the whole game?"
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that.
So I played just the beginning, and I got a very, very, like, I had a really huge suspicion that this was going to be a very Suda-feeling experience, in the sense that you are frothing to get to the next cutscene, because these cutscenes are going to be incredible, and this plot is going to be through the roof, but this gameplay is going to really slow you down at times. And yeah, I will say that's kind of the impression I got. The problem is that within the time frame that I played, which is really just the beginning, you can't give an accurate, statement on that, because I know that, like, you're playing on a console that's a death drive, and it's gonna switch up to a, you know what I mean, like this, like you're gonna switch up games, and it said, like, there was a whole thing about playing multiple games and getting stuck in the console. But the introduction of everything, and like the fact that they're bringing in all these franchises into what I'm gonna call the Sudaverse, is kind of nuts and cool. You can see the ridiculous, like, what, like, they spent the time and the money making these crazy action cutscenes and whatnot, go places, but your gameplay is really
seems really basic,
arcadey and Xbox Live-y. Xbox Live arcadey even. And by the end of that first hour, and then that boss fight, it's kind of like, okay, so
always a good feeling.
Yeah. So that seems like the biggest issue is kind of just like, there's not, like, the one thing that would save it would be enemy variety. And by the point we got through, there wasn't a ton of enemy variety. I hope later on in the game it really, really mixes things up, because gameplay is going to be really on the stagnant side, while you're getting rewarded with these awesome cutscenes and tie-ins and story, you know? And I saw there was a video out there.
So it's Subspace Emissary?
Yeah. There was a video out there of, like, already, like, someone's hour-long analysis breakdown of, like, what this plot means, because No More Heroes always has a subtext.
Yeah.
And then a subtext to the subtext.
Yeah.
And in this case, there is that. It's been confirmed to be present. However, you have to get through
the fact that you
you
just described it as levels that you have to get through.
Yeah.
That sucks. Like, that sucks to hear.
Yeah. So, and it also, yeah, the other thing too is that I hear that this is an important chapter in the Travis Touchdown saga.
Shut up.
And that it actually matters in that way. So, I do. And there's crazy secrets to unlock and find out.
I'm sure. But if the meat in your meat and potatoes ain't no good,
yeah,
it's only so much cheese you can put on those potatoes.
Yeah, it seems a bit odd to skimp on the gameplay as opposed to the cutscenes, you know. But anyway, that's kind of the brief impression I got from playing it ever so shortly. But that was a video as well that's going to pop up on Willy vs. in a little bit. I went to go see Alita Battle Angel last night. Face like an angel, but a body built for battle. I don't know if you are familiar.
Nope.
Okay.
The first thing I ever heard about Alita Battle Angel was James Cameron keeps talking about how he wants to make a Battle Angel movie for
Really?
decades. That's literally the first thing I ever heard.
Okay, so the year must have been 2000.
Yeah.
I'm in high school, and I catch wind that Battle Angel Alita, a.k.a. Gunnum, a.k.a. Galley, is getting a Hollywood adaptation, and
A film.
a film alongside Ghost in the Shell.
What?
And I was like, this world is fucking crazy, because this was 5 years after that shit had just hit us.
And your brain is going, that's so exciting.
Fast forward 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
And those things
Happen.
go through whatever form of development hell they go through. But to be fair, Cameron has a fucking, he has a habit of calling things. He points at WrestleMania signs that are 30 years down the line where he might not be around anymore.
I just want to point out that every single day I thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in the morning that Akira adaptation is still dead.
Yes. Yes.
That I will not abide.
Steven Spielberg's name attached to Ghost in the Shell was a cause for celebration back in high school. Things changed. We all waited around for Alita, and we finally got to see that Big Eye trailer, and then it was in Robert Rodriguez's hands, and you're like, that's a weird one, but okay.
You know,
Troublemaker Studios, Planet Terror, let's see what you got, Sin City, etc. And I gotta say, it's a fun movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've been hearing good things about it all weekend.
It is
Not perfect, but fun.
So the comparison that anyone would make with the fact that that and Ghost in the Shell were announced around the same time, and they're both about these cyber brain girl protagonists in a future tech world, cyberpunk world, and all that stuff. Alita is not philosophical at all in the Ghost in the Shell way, so don't expect that. Source material wise, it's a manga that's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. I only read a couple chapters of it. I never made it through the books, so I was coming into this mostly cold, with a couple of chapters of reference that from the beginning. Now, the eye thing, you get used to it. It manages to normalize.
Apparently, they toned it down since that original
I don't know
trailer.
if they toned it down. But you get used to it, is what I'll say. Because it still feels weird at first, and then you go through it, and you're like, yeah, this is fine.
Why is she the only one with fucked up eyes like that?
Well, there's reasons.
Because she's a fucking robot?
She's from another place.
Ah, fuck it.
So
Is she from that manga verse?
she's from the manga-verse.
Oh,
Big
man.
eyes, small mouth. That's how they do it.
I like how you said that.
They that shit's awesome. The overall, I would say that it's fun. Action's fucking solid, doing what it does. I went in with two expectations, or two demands, I should say. I wanted to see a cannon drill, and I wanted to see a cannon spike. I should back up. Are you familiar with the Street Fighter named Cammy?
Yeah, I am.
Are you familiar with her moves?
Yes, the cannon drill is a low, twisting, kind of torpedo, and a cannon spike is a kick variant of a shoryuken. It she launches in the air with that kick. It fucking looks like it hurt.
And her wall bouncing Maximum Spider Super Killer Bee combination.
That's correct. Yes, I'm aware. I'm familiar with these things.
Yes. So her moves are 100% panels directly from Battle Angel Alita.
Cool.
The inspiration of her character, there's artwork of her that is identical to a pose from early on Battle Angel Alita.
Cool. Is that why Cammy's eyes are actually really big in Street Fighter 2 art?
Pretty much. And she's got the pouty lips in that one art with the scar. She's 100% inspired. That's where she came from. The fact that she has her dog tag that says CAMM, you know, and whatnot. Like there's a lot of that. Her fighting style is basically Panzerkunst. It's what it's what she uses in fucking like 100%. Right? You want to find out more, you can head on down to, I don't know if it's still around, but camifan.com has a full-on breakdown of the panel by panel comparisons of her moves. So I wanted to see those Cammy moves. Not only are they in there, but all the other really awesome shit is in there, and these like dope ass fighting game moves get used to great efficiency.
What you're saying is you went to see the movie and you got to see some anime shit on the screen.
I did. Problems. 1, there is a lot of plot that has to happen in a short amount of time. Therefore, pacing is really fast, if not uncomfortable at times.
Oh, yeah?
However, alongside breakneck speed pacing comes a need to care about characters more than you've had time to adjust to them.
Oh, yeah.
So you're given very quick pacing, and then you're very quickly given soft music to relate and have moments with people that you're like, I don't know you.
All right. On a scale of Breaking Bad at the bottom and Fox Spider-Man cartoon at the top, where does this fit in pacing-wise?
This is a 7.5 to 8.
That's pretty fucking fast.
As close to Fox Spider-Man cartoon.
That's crazy.
Now, some of it you can chalk up to the fact that the main character you're following is also, waking up and having their first memories. So if you know how like high school drama is the most important thing in the world to kids in high school.
That's
but
right.
Then the moment you get out of high school, who gives a fuck?
That's right.
And you're like, oh, if I only had the perspective to know how much life didn't matter.
But you literally can't.
Because
it's impossible.
Because when you're in high school, that's a third of your life.
Yeah.
Right? That shit that happened on the playground, that happened, and that beef represents 50% of your existence.
Shit.
Right? So with that, and
Bruno's gonna get it.
With that, the understanding that, like, okay, this robot doesn't have a whole lot of time as a reference point, therefore things are going to be amplified, because how could you possibly understand the greater context here?
Also robot.
Yes. You can chalk that up a little bit. And for the most part, they do give, like, reasons for, like, some of the questions in the accelerated plot and pace. They give explanations for them, including there's a moment of just talk where I'm like, just talk? And then the characters are like, no, it doesn't matter, though. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, fine, it doesn't matter. You know, but here's what I'm going to warn and then put out there. So, like, pacing is really, really fast and uncomfortable at times. Main supporting character. Character goes by the name of Hugo.
Okay.
Oh, God. So, you've got...
Now, are you talking about the character that's played by Christoph Waltz?
No, because Christoph Waltz, guess what he's doing? He's being Christoph Waltz.
I fucking love Christoph Waltz.
And Mahershala Ali, guess what he's doing? He's fucking doing it. He's being Mahershala Ali. The cast is all like, they're acting and doing their thing and being the characters, and they're being great. And this fucking kid.
It's the fucking guy with the motorcycle.
Chad,
oh no!
Rolls up into the fucking story right off of the set of Degrassi, and he starts acting like Student Body's boyfriend.
I hate this.
He starts acting like the quarterback in a Disney show.
I hate this.
And he's tucking his hair, and he's like, hey, let me show you something. And you're like, this dude fucking sucks. And not only does he suck as a character, he sucks, unfortunately, as an actor. He's doing a bad job, and everyone around him is crushing it.
That's really awful.
It sucks, because he's so important, but the world is, like, doing their jobs, and he's barely hanging on. It was really rough, you know?
I don't like this.
I really it made it hard. It made it very hard, because, like, you know, she has a human connection that she's trying to make and whatnot. And this fucking dude just can't keep up, and he's delivering lines like you're watching them on, like, again, on fucking YTV or Disney Afternoon, you know? And you're just like, enough of this. And then his actions as a character also suck.
Oh, wow.
So it's all really terrible, you know?
Would you describe this character / actor as a blemish on the film?
It's my low point, certainly, and the events and the things that he does are like, you can definitely chalk that up to like, yeah, you're a dumb teenager, you're gonna be dumb,
Sure,
you know. But it's the combination of doing those things while being
a bad actor,
that makes me go, fuck this kid. The whole time.
It's one of those things. It's like, you know, you're watching fucking Stranger Things, and the kids are being fucking stupid, but the kids are all A+ actors, so you're like, yeah, sure, fuck it, they're like 10. I do stupid shit like that.
I miss that.
Right? That's totally normal.
You know, so I gotta give props to this for cramming, though, despite the breakneck speed pacing, they cram a lot of story and a lot of plot and things that you have. There's a lot to carry, and they manage to do a decent job hinting at what they need to and setting things up in a way. And the fact that, like, one of the early things I heard about Angel Alita was the fact that, like, it's a cyberpunk story that at first can't decide whether it's about action and fighting or whether it's about sports.
What?
And then it ends up kind of doing sports for a while, and then switches over to fighting.
What sport?
Yeah, there's a fucking there's a cyberpunk roller derby.
That I didn't get that impression from the fucking trailers at all.
Really important.
What?
It's a huge part of the story.
Oh, all right.
There's sports, and they're big future cyber sports.
Okay.
And they're the reason why all these rad combat things exist on people.
Oh, okay.
And it's like,
that's stupid.
It works.
Yeah.
They set it up and they do it. And it, like, it's in a manga sense, you're like, wait, what do you want to be? Do you want to be this or do you want to be that? What do you want to be? And in this case, they find a way to actually, like, marry them and make it work.
Do you want to be slice of life or a murder mystery?
So all that is done really well. And again, like, you've never seen more CG everywhere since, I guess, Avatar 1, right?
Great.
But a lot of it is done really well, and a lot of it is like, I'm looking at it going, is there? No, it's like, no, that works. You know, there's a couple of moments in the trailer where you see, like, a normal person, and then they open up their jacket, and then the fucking parts just come out.
Yeah, I like that.
Those moments, and you look at it and you go, but then as soon as you're like, is the camera going to start blurring and moving quickly? And it's like, no, it focuses on the parts, and you can see them doing their thing, and it looks all right. All in all, go see it.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, it's
you know what,
fun. It's kind of dumb. She's charming. She's a really lovable character. Christoph Waltz is great.
So, even if this movie was terrible, I'd still say it was worth it just to see Christoph Waltz hanging out and kind of flirting with Kazuna Ai during one of those weird promo events.
Okay.
Did you see that?
I did not.
It's the weirdest fucking thing in the world. They have the cast of Battle Angel Alita and a fucking screen sitting next to them, and Kazuna Ai comes in to talk to them. It's fucking weird, but totally on point.
On brand. On brand. Can't say that it's not. Yeah. Holy fuck, has Mahershala Ali blown the fuck up. That dude is...
I don't know who that is.
Okay, he played Remy Danton in House of Cards.
Didn't see it.
Okay. Well, the black guy from House of Cards is now a multi-Oscar winner. That's in every movie that's out. He's in every movie that came out, and he's going to be in every movie coming out. Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala.
He has a very distinct face, and he's fucking great.
I know that guy.
He's solid.
That guy's the fucking... He's in the fucking Luke Cage. There it is.
He's Cottonmouth. He's crushing it in everything, and he turns down nothing.
Oh yeah.
He turns down nothing because I don't expect him to pop up all over the places that he does, and he does. So he's probably the most recent.
Oh, he's Prowler in fucking
yes,
Spider-Verse.
in Spider-Verse. Yeah.
Sorry, Oscar-winning
Yeah.
Spider-Verse.
I want to say that he's like the first new. Maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like he's the first newly knighted not AAA, A-list actor in a way. Like he kind of came, like this house cards popped up, and then he just started taking work after that, and very quickly became the dude that's in everything.
Yeah.
And he's like absolutely not like I can't even, I'm not even like, if you pull up his IMDb, I can't even imagine what it looks like, of just like
Done
upcoming
4
projects
movies.
and whatnot. But yeah, so I'll chalk one up to adaptation worked out. I can't comment on faithfulness or detail changes because I'm not familiar with the original manga, unfortunately. But in an isolated system, worth it. And obviously, it's an interesting world that wants to be revisited. Mm-hmm. I just hope it doesn't take another 19 years to get there.
I only saw just the trailers, seen nothing else. It looks a lot visually like Human Revolution to me. Am I crazy?
No, you're not.
Okay, it does look like Human Revolution.
Absolutely.
Or rather, Human Revolution probably looks like it took a lot of inspiration from
You're
Battle
walking
Angel.
around Hengsha.
Okay, cool. Cool.
You're talking to Hansers.
I might as well just see it for that, because that art,
Yes.
type of art is my shit.
Yes.
I love that stuff.
But you have to keep in mind that it's not the future that you can see from here. It's the future so far flung that your brain is going to stop.
This is
trying
fucking people's faces on robot torsos, like just
throw
on.
You're too many years ahead to
Cool.
to 26th century.
Yeah. Whoa, that's past Star Trek, man.
Really far.
That's really fucking far.
Hundreds of years past the point where you could possibly imagine what it might be like.
No warp drives, huh?
Yeah, so just throw it so far ahead that you're looking at magic. That's the important part of the setting is, and it's old too, right? So, like, we love near future because it requires really detailed world building that show you the things you like and the things you recognize.
How'd you get from right now to kind of over there?
Yes, and I'm always fascinated by the thing I want to pay the attention to the most is, what is the average homeless person in your future setting? What are they unimpressed by? Right? The dude on the street sitting there jingling his cup. What ridiculous magic thing happens in front of him and he just goes,
Just fucking robot dog.
That is what's going to set up your expectations. And in this case, you're just looking at that's so far flung past anything you recognize that you're just
completely post transhumanism.
You're just looking at magic. It's not even a question.
Cool.
It takes seconds to establish that it's like.
Are you familiar? This is going to be kind of a poll, but are you familiar with the fantasy setting for Dungeons and Dragons called Numenera?
No.
So it's they used it for the new Planescape game, but it's an existing setting, and it is like 1,000,000 years into the future. It is like just absurdly, impossibly far into the future. Okay. In which there have been 7 like Star Trek level societies that rose and fell. Okay. And they all use completely different technologies. Okay. And no one knows how any of it works, but it's all clearly technology.
Yeah, okay.
But it's all magic.
Right.
So the nanite swarm and the fucking cloning bath and all this crazy fucking shit. It's fucking goofballs.
That's interesting. You might as well be praying to different gods.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, okay. So that's fun. And yeah. No, that's pretty much it. So with that, we should probably start talking about the news. But this week, what are you going to be taking a look at?
So, me, Patrick Boivin, I'm going to be over at twitch.tv/angriestpat. That's a Twitch stream where I play video games on the live and talk about bullshit, much like you've been hearing here. On Tuesday, I'm going to finish off Ace Combat 7. So everybody stop whining at me. Plus, that game's rad. On Wednesday, I'm going to play New Vegas because that game's forever. On Thursday, I'm going to play more Yakuza Kiwami because people seem to like that. And on Friday, right now, probably just hang out, play some Apex Legends. Probably just chill, play Apex Legends. And those all start at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Okay.
And then on the weekend, fuck off. It's my days off, man.
Over at Wooly Versus, Jet Set Radio continues. There's a I want to say Zone of the Enders just wrapped up, although we might have a little EX mission for you guys. But
Ooh.
Yeah, Zone of the Enders just wrapped up, and RE2 continues, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure 7th Stand User continues. Started a new project that should be coming around sometime soon with one Austin Eruption. We sat down and we had some fun with such a fucking solid idea. I was like, hell yeah. Wooly and Austin, full LP, PlayStation demo discs. It's a good time. It's a good time.
Careful with that fucking Beautiful Joe one.
It's
the erase your save file.
Oh shit. Okay. So that's gonna be coming up soon. And me and Reggie are also working on something as well because Jet Set Radio's done. So we got a new LP coming up that is currently going through some planning phases and figuring a little bit of shit out. But
there's a fucking there's a ball that's been thrown up in the air and we're not really sure when we'll catch it.
Yeah, but right now, I mean, just to throw it out there. So yeah, we're gonna be the current cycle of what you see is out there. Gonna be cycling in the Wooly and Austin play PlayStation demo discs, and me and Reggie are gonna be sitting down and going through the wonderful 101. We're doing it.
What's that? I've never heard of it. It must have sold poorly.
So that should be a fucking good time. Everybody, stay tuned, stick around. Channel content continues. In the meantime, stream-wise, we're going to be doing some... we're going to be doing fighting games on Tuesday. This Tuesday we have something special planned, but it depends. It's temporary. It's a tentative plan. I don't want to jinx it, and I can't confirm it, so I can't announce it. But we're going to be taking a look at something cool, hopefully. And then this Saturday, not sure yet. I had some plans. I don't know. Well, I got I gotta talk to you about when we can pick back up with RE2.
I can do RE2 this week if you want to.
Okay,
but if you have something else you'd rather do,
there's other stuff that was on the slate that I do need to consider though. So, yeah, we'll take a look. We'll take a look and we'll see. But lots of stuff coming. All of that available if you want at Wooly Versus on Twitch and on YouTube. So stick around. Fun times.
And with that, we can go into news. Hey, guy. What's new in the world this week?
I'd say the biggest thing.
Holy shit, we've been doing a... Whew. Okay, that flew by.
Yeah, that Shlooter talk lasted a really long time. But that's okay. We got time. Let's talk about...
I hate that you invented that word. That word sucks. You suck.
Burn it in.
It's burned in. That's why I'm mad.
Reggie steps down. Bowser steps up.
Did you see that fucking Seattle Times article?
Which one?
It's the funniest fucking thing I've ever seen.
There's a lot of funny ones.
The Seattle Times reported... Doug Bowser, new president of Nintendo of America. Yes, he shares the name of a Pokemon. And I'm like, oh man,
that's fantastic. Never change. Yeah, man, Reggie's done. He's stepping it out. He's stepping down in April.
I'm tired.
He's had a really good run.
It's hard to have such a ready body all the time.
His plot that started with him saying that he was all about kicking ass and taking names has never been, could have been more successful
Absolutely.
than it was. He showed up and went, "I'm a badass," and everyone was like, "That guy's a badass. Nintendo needs badasses right now." He said it at a time when people were desperate for a mature Nintendo.
So,
and he got that spot.
Reggie always has this. He has this incredibly idiosyncratic way of speaking, which for a long time I interpreted as awkward, but later came. It's like, oh, it's kind of genuine. Like he just talks a little off, and it made him very
like Reggie.
Yeah,
and he wants to say that he's had a great time all of these years.
And like it sounded kind of fake and awkward, but it's so consistent. I'm like, oh, I think that's how Reggie talks.
That's Reggie. That's how he be.
And I liked it.
That's the RFA.
Now Doug Bowser's kind of fucked on that because he's got the cool name, so he's got to live up to it.
But that's all he's got to do, though. For the first year, he can coast on the name and the fun from the name.
I really hope Doug Bowser is a goofy man, because it is his fucking responsibility to play into this.
Yeah, pretty much. Now the only question is like, what does he sound like? And I know that he's talked at events before, but I don't think I've seen him talk, or I don't remember it. But I certainly do hope that it's like Hans Moleman.
Yeah. Oh.
That's really my wish and my prayer. I'm praying.
That's not fair. I wish a bunch of people just sounded like Hans Moleman.
I'm praying to Jesus right now that he opens his mouth on stage at a Nintendo Direct or on video for the first time.
Guys, I can't even do a mole man. I can't even.
Nintendo.
I'm here. I can't even do a mole man.
I'm Doug Bowser.
He's got to come out.
Like a little bit of Millhouse if you need it. A little bit of just all of it. I need a goofy ass.
You know
voice.
what they need to do, right? What they need to do is when the next time he's got to go to a show, this scantily clad blonde with the fucking Bowser shell walks out and takes the crown off, and there's a poof of fucking smoke, and then Doug Bowser walks out.
Yeah, but they hate Bowser.
Shut up. He's Bowser. He can do whatever he wants.
So yeah, man, there's not much to it besides the fact that Reggie had a successful career.
Enjoy your retirement, man.
He did his thing. Everybody liked it. He played Smash. He was very bad at it.
He became a JoJo character for like a second. Or Fist of the North Star character, rather.
Yeah. He had awesome videos fucking fighting Iwata.
He became a Muppet.
He just gift. He became Cyclops.
Fuck, I don't remember that.
He eye lasered somebody and she melted.
You know what my favorite thing Reggie ever did, and it was not supernatural? It's when Bill Trinan made fun of him.
Yes, and then he fucking
sent him to Japan for like a year.
Get the fuck out, Bill.
Oh, the fact that the guys doing that were like, okay, Bill's moving to fucking Japan for whatever, right? Can we use that? Can we do a fucking bit where I send him there out of revenge?
Bill got killed.
It's the best. It's the fucking best.
That was fantastic. Yep. A lot of fun gimmicks.
Video games are fucking weird, by the way, and the video game industry is fucking weird because we're talking about this CEO of a major company as if he were a goddamn anime
cartoon character.
Yeah, like.
But that's what my point was.
It's part of the job.
I was about to say that they decided to lean into it.
Yeah.
Right? When they realized that the people that are spending money and hanging around that they've had fans for years are all following them as individuals as if they were celebrity characters or cartoon characters, then they realized, let's just have fun with it.
My biggest disappointment of Kaz Hirai getting promoted to being the president of Sony is that we didn't see more goofy bullshit come out of Kaz Hirai's mouth as a result. Because Kaz Hirai would say some goofy bullshit.
I mean, Shuhei's pretty fantastic as well.
Yeah, he's great.
But we will, absolutely leaning into that cartoony shit. I mean, the thing with Reggie is that his entire career existed within that framework.
Within the cartoon realm.
Like I said, the moment he said kicking ass and taking names, that was it. You're now born from memes. And to memes you shall return.
And then he goes, my body is ready. And in my mind, I'm like, he knew. He fucking knew.
So, like I feel as if like over the years, like, we've had the people that you see on stage at every fucking Microsoft conference and at every what's his name again?
Sean Layden?
Not even Layden. No, the Microsoft guy.
The evil one? Or the good one? Phil Spencer?
Spencer, right?
You remember that fucking asshole they had running the thing when we have a console for you? It's called Xbox 360. That fucking piece of shit?
Sure.
What the fuck is his name?
I don't know.
He has been erased from my mind.
I don't know, but you see, that's why I was always so excited about Jamsey. And I know
Don Matrick, that's his fucking name.
And I know no one remembers Jamsey, and I'm doing this bit one more time, even though it's been at least 2 years since I brought him up.
The fuck are you talking about?
Jamsey was the Japanese Xbox representative that shaved an Xbox logo into the back of his head. And this guy was gonna push the Xbox for Japan. And he was a character, and he was basically becoming a cartoon character. And then it went away. They didn't lean into it. And I was sad because it had potential.
I feel like Phil Spencer is a little bit of a cartoon, but then tries to be real, but the realness is fake. He seems nice enough. You know who's really good at it currently? I think Sean Layden's probably the best at this meme game.
But you can feel the business within him, but then we've seen him like tone
down the business. He knows to take the suit off. And like when he was chilling.
Remember when we were watching those Let's Watches and going,
oh yeah, I was fucking spitting poison at the screen.
Business man.
And then he dressed down every other appearance ever after that because that reaction must have been fucking universal. And then he's just hanging out like, you guys like Vib Ribbon?
Right.
Yeah, I do. And then he did the PlayStation Experience thing, which was him just hanging out on a fucking couch for an hour. We haven't seen him since.
He lived into it and understood that you needed to have a little bit of charm and you couldn't just stand up there and be like, suit and tie, here's our earnings and quarterlies.
I feel like the video game industry has the highest proportion of sycophants and insane cynics of like any industry. Because like there's people that are like, I love you, Reggie, oh my God. And there's the people that are like, this businessman seems evil because he wore an indie shirt that is appropriate for the venue. You know, like there's like just the absolute farthest extremes. There's, oh my God, I'm gonna come. And there's like, oh, look at this fucking businessman. Like, yeah, he's a businessman. Of course he is.
That's how he got the job.
That's how he got the job, by being a fucking businessman. Yeah. But you're like, fuck you, you fucking businessman. Yeah. Right?
Gamers should be running the show. Real gamers should be running the show. Yeah.
Fuck off.
Farewell, Reggie.
Bye, Reggie.
You had a good run.
It was good for you to go to Nintendo. You probably wouldn't have got this level of warm reception of your retirement back at Pizza Hut.
You left without controversy, and everybody thought you were a cool guy.
Yeah, that is pretty wild, isn't it?
Not much else to say.
Yeah.
Here's a weird one.
What the fuck are you talking about? Just fucking say it. Just fucking say it.
Well, next month GDC is popping up.
Yeah.
And there's currently a little bit of an ARG that is going on.
Is the ARG I'm too broke to go to GDC?
No.
No, that's a different thing.
But why this thing is taking its sweet time loading. Hopefully it'll pop up soon. People are saying that it might be possible that
oh yeah, that's broken.
It might be possible that there's a gateway timeout on its way.
That's crazy. All right, so what are you talking about, man?
I'm talking about the fact that there might be a Vampire the Masquerade announcement on it.
That'd be cool. But that
sounds really not real.
It's a really cool setting that has been incredibly unevenly treated in games. So it, like this is a fucking roll a D100 in terms of how excited you should be, right?
So Paradox Interactive are the folks who 2 years ago, no, more than that, 2015.
Paradox is cool.
They bought all of White Wolf's properties.
I forgot about that, actually.
They bought all of White Wolf's shit. So that
even the weird shit no one cares about?
All of the shit.
Because that mage stuff is lame.
So they bought all of it, and now they're the ones that own Vampire the Masquerade. And they are pushing an ARG called Tinder, which is a dating app that links people based on their blood type.
Okay, that's pretty fucking funny.
And it looks legit.
That's pretty funny.
But if you log into it with your Paradox account, you somehow are able to log in.
Okay.
And so people are basically looking at the app, and there's leaked memos and weird shit about, like, yes, again, the blood type thing in some sort of meeting in San Francisco on March 21st. And everybody's thinking that this says, mark the date, this will be the biggest announcement in the history of the company. So people are basically leaning towards the idea that what does Paradox have to do with blood and tender?
It would be Vampire the Masquerade for sure.
And telling everybody to go to one location. For
Vampire
this
the
one
Masquerade
thing.
is the most popular out of all the properties they bought. For
so
sure.
Everyone's thinking we might be seeing an announcement related to Vampire the Masquerade.
If they're making it, there's a good chance that Obsidian would be working on it. Obsidian and them work together a lot.
Right.
And that seems like a natural fit.
Now, the idea is, would this be a new thing or would this be a remade
This
thing?
would be a new thing, for sure.
You know?
Absolutely.
I think people would be just as excited if it was a fucking remake, though.
A remake that worked? Yeah.
A remake that worked.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. A remake that you don't have to go through fucking mods and mods and mods to fucking...
I should point out, every time somebody tells you play Vampire the Bloodline Masquerade or whatever the fuck, they're like, the mods fixed it now. That's a lie. That's always a lie.
Quite frankly, a re-release that included all the mods.
No. like that game is
know.
built off of toothpicks. You'd have to remake the whole fucking thing.
So that's why I asked the question, right? Because it would be worth it. It would be a worthy endeavor to get a version that didn't have problems. But that's possibly interesting and exciting, and we'll see what happens in March.
We'll see what happened in March. At a time where we couldn't care less. March is a month in which I don't give a shit about fuck. Because DMC and Sekiro are out.
Well,
you guys excited for the podcast during those months? Guess what we're going to talk about?
you see, fuck those months. How about right now? Refreshingly.
There are no major DLC plans for DMC 5 outside of one big free update, which would be Bloody Palace.
So the Bloody Palace update is going to be the only one.
Yep.
As far as if they've announced so far.
You know what this feels like? Feels like Ghost Survivors for RE2.
That's it. That's all there is.
Feels like a month out, they're like, hey, here's a new thing. Cool.
And yeah, so
Glad you didn't sell the game.
the worry that, you know, there might be like all this extra bullshit, you know, is can be thankfully like, yeah, no, it's all there. Whatever you need is going to be there.
Maybe
That's
in
cool.
a year or two we'll get an SC where you play as 10 new characters.
And you can buy Rorbs.
Yeah. You buy Orbs right now, dude.
Right, okay, well then there you go. So that's what it is. That's what it be, right? But yeah, Bloody Palace, and that's it. So I was like, okay, that's cool. But yes, the buying Rorbs is here to stay, I suppose, ever since 4 SE. Not much else to that. There is the there's just a bunch. It's just a weird news week. A bunch of weird shit. Similarly weird.
Let's blast through it.
Is the fact that apparently Yoko Taro is becoming a virtual YouTuber.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that shit.
That's
right up his alley.
It says here that he's gonna be basically like, you know, those idol tubes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing that.
Yeah. That's on brand.
During the month of March. So while you're not playing Devil May Cry, you can tune in or paying attention
while
to
you're
Vampire.
playing Devil May Cry, you can have it on your second monitor.
You can watch fucking a creepy Emil head play video games and make weird remarks
In a language I don't speak.
Hi, domo. I hope he has big crying breakdowns and freakouts. I hope the mask cracks.
It is already cracked.
I hope it cracks even more.
You mean you hope that he like tilts his head and the fucking thing just actually splits in half and fucking pulls apart?
I want to see him break down. I want to see him.
Why are you wishing for this?
Because I watched him have a tantrum about Square Enix and it was hilarious, and I want more of that content.
Oh, okay.
And he's set to appear on, like the virtual, it says virtual idol group Gems Company, which is an announced virtual cast V radio show, which when I go and take a look at it, it's like a bunch of idol fucking things.
And he'll be there with his
and
Emil
yeah,
Naz.
and so you've got all these cute like idol girls doing the whole
anime
mocap thing, you know, just like the whatever, just like the other virtual tubers and that one channel that I forgot the name of that is gonna absolutely replace us shortly. Kizuna Ai, thank you. And hanging out with
Christoph Waltz.
Hanging out with Christoph Waltz, exactly.
I'm
and now,
replaced right now.
There you go. And now soon to be Yoko Taro as well. Kizuna Ai. Fuck all of us in our jobs. We're irrelevant.
I don't know, man. My gross baldness is currently not like taken up by any of these virtual YouTubers.
But then enter Yoko Taro.
Yo, he's got a mask that you don't know.
But what I'm saying is, this is currently only having an appeal of cute girl anime girls.
Okay,
right?
but now like a gross weirdo's getting in on it.
So now gross weirdo virtual YouTubers are showing
gross weirdo's my tag. I need that.
But that's what I'm saying. You thought you were immune because these are all cute waifus.
Why would anyone make a VR model of gross weirdo?
But now there's gross weirdos coming, so the whole market's cornered.
No.
Anybody who shows up for gross weirdos will just watch that instead. And then, you know what? It'll be a gross weirdo that is perfect as a gross weirdo.
No.
In all their flaws.
I don't know.
You're replaceable.
I'm not replaceable.
You're being replaced right now.
No one can replace me because I'm the only person who loves to litter.
And they get to write a script so that their character can be funny the whole time.
Oh, that's bullshit.
They have writers.
You need lulls. You need massive lulls in entertainment value.
They have writers. You can't compete. Virtual fucking tubers.
Good stream and a stream without about 30 minutes is just like, this part sucks. Can't wait till it gets to that part later where that's fun.
Can't wait for Yoko Taro to get out of game development.
Well, he's still got to make that fucking 14 raid.
He's sure, but he's pretty much about to quit and just do this full time. And then he's going to read the comments, and then he's going to go back to making games. One of the weirdest ones of all these weird announcements is the crossover games are flying high, and why not strike while that iron's hot and get Kyo Kusanagi, Iori Yagami, Athena Asayami, or whatever her name is, and Mai Shiranui, and Leona Hydern to join Phantasy Star Online 2.
This news is not for you, North Americans or Europeans.
It is the weirdest crossover since, I guess, The Witcher showing up in all the shit he's been showing up in.
So The Witcher showing up in Monster Hunter is not as fucking stupid as you would think. What is happening? Oh, lighting. So The Witcher showing up in Monster Hunter isn't quite as stupid as you think, because Geralt actually has a long history of falling into alternate universes via portals. And also, need I remind you, Wooly, what is Geralt's profession?
He is a Witcher.
He's a monster hunter.
Yes, right. Okay.
Literally a monster hunter. So,
and he hates portals.
Yeah, he hates portals.
This footage of Phantasy Star Online 2 with the KOF characters in it reminds me of KOF Online. It's really strange, but they're doing it. And I mean, I've never seen SNK push as hard to get guests in different games as they are right now. Because starting with Mai Shiranui in Dead or Alive, we then got Iori in Million Arthur. Not Million Arthur. Yeah, Million Arthur. That's correct. And we're seeing all kinds of crossovers being pushed right now. And Terry Bogard is showing up in Fighting EX Lair.
Geese is in fucking
Tekken. So cross promotion has never been as high as it is right now. So why not throw in the whole cast, including Kyo and his bodega punches into Phantasy Star Online 2, which, to be honest, this is the most gameplay.
Footage I'm looking at right now looks really cool.
Yeah, it's the most gameplay of Phantasy Star Online at PSO2 that I've seen.
Not for you.
It looks a lot better than PSO1.
Not for you, Wooly. Stop looking at it.
Well, now I know why Liam wanted it so bad.
It's never going to come out here.
Combat looks pretty slick.
Yeah, sure does. Dude, I wanted it to come out here, but I knew it never would.
Damn.
Never.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is, but there it is. And the fact that at the bottom it's like PSO2 is available for PC, PlayStation, Vita, PS4, and Switch. It's like,
not for you.
They made a Switch port.
Not for you.
They just hate you.
They hate you.
Well, anyway. We had that. We
Remember
have
when Liam and I spoke to somebody at PlayStation, and he's like, dude, I'm trying. And that was like fucking 3-4 years ago. So that didn't happen.
You got anything on these Switch ports? RE1, RE0, RE4?
I will take a page out of Clems's book. He made a tweet about this the other day. He said, one day I will arrange all my copies of RE4 in a circle, and I will stand in it and be transported to Leonverse or some shit.
So it looks like it's RE Make, right?
Yeah.
And RE0, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, sure. It's GameCube port, and a GameCube port. It's GameCube ports. That's fine.
You're not getting 7 and 2.
Fuck no, you're not.
So feels like
how fucking stupid is the series of words we just said? You can get 0, 1, and 4, but not 7 and 2.
It feels as if like the way what we heard about Nintendo talking about Kingdom Hearts the other day was that they're basically going to all these major releases and going, okay, no, all right.
Does it have the name on it a little?
What's the next best thing?
Yeah.
Right. What else can we do? And then this is kind of what we're getting. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some form of Devil May something,
Devil May Cry trilogy or some shit,
at some point winds up. Maybe 4 special edition might wind up on the Switch.
That'd be fucking goofy.
I don't even fucking. It doesn't sound like the most impossible thing. Like, that's kind of what Nintendo's doing right now.
Makes sense. Those games are great. Well, not 0, but the 2 of those games are great.
Yeah, not much to say about this one, but just, there's some weird hitbox stuff happening in Apex Legends, and someone did a little shoot around the characters trace test, and they found out that Pathfinder has a gigantic body, like Gibraltar style.
Yep.
And that even though his skinny little robot legs and arms and head are tiny, if you shoot the bubble around and in between his arms and legs, it still manages to do damage to him.
Of course it does.
So it's kind of weird.
That makes perfect sense.
But other characters don't have that.
Yeah.
So they're addressing the issue, is what they say.
Yeah. The other thing is that Pathfinder is a glitch machine and can fucking
run up the walls,
climb anything in the game.
Yeah, that shit's.
He has a specific quick switch thing that he can fire faster than other characters.
He's getting fucking he's getting switched the fuck up real soon.
There was something else. Latency in that game rewards you if you have a shitty ping, because it's all client side. So hit detection. So if somebody, if you're lagging out and you shoot the guy in front of you who's dead still 100 times, even if he's in a building 2 doors over, he'll still die when the server catches up.
Man,
it's fucking goofy.
That new gun is not great.
It's amazing if you get the hop up.
The startup on the Havoc is not great. I'm not enjoying it.
Only if you get the hop up. If you get the hop up,
I know
it's good.
I know you're a big hit scan boy, so you're a huge fan.
That select fire shit is the worst.
But what it probably should do is let you have both on. That would be rad.
That'd be OP.
That'd be rad.
No, that'd be
as is. I'm like, yeah.
No, get the fucking spin up, hop up, and it's a good gun. If you don't have it, fuck it.
It's a mega buster.
Yeah. The main thing that I feel with it is that if you get the drop on somebody, so you can spin it up before they're a gunfight, they're fucking toast.
Well, I mean, Devotion, same idea. It's a laser, basically.
But if it's the situation where you both see each other at the same time, you're dead before the gun fires.
That's it. It's just not having, so anytime there you have that level of startup, you're just like, okay, I'm eating how many carbine magazines.
I really like the
Bangalore. A clip is something you put in your hair.
Civvies using their hair. This is a magazine. I like it.
How many? Yeah, exactly. So how much carbine are you gonna eat before you get the first shot off?
Probably an entire R99 magazine.
Yeah,
which means you're dead.
Don't do it. Anyway. That is happening. We got the Yeah, I mean, it's not much, but it's just like fucking Spider-Man won, right?
Yay! That's a good movie.
Sorry, Incredibles, but your tweet about for your consideration, Incredibles 2.
That was like the worst thing I ever seen.
Oh, don't do it. And just everybody, Matt in the comments, and everybody, and and fucking Sweary in the comments as well, just with the Spider-Man reaction face, like no, you don't get to speak. Incredibles 2, you were a fun movie, and we waited a long time for you. But you unfortunately have to deal with Miles Morales right now, and you have no chance.
I retweeted that bit of Miles touching the fucking shoulder of the Oscar going, hey.
Bearer, seek lest. All those edits were great.
If a movie gives us a bunch of memes, it should win an Oscar. There should be an Oscar for memes.
Well, you must have heard last year about the Academy going, hey guys, we know that this Black Panther thing is happening, so why don't we introduce a new category called Best Popular Category? And then if you're a real big popular movie, everyone gets to get an Oscar, and it'll be great. And everyone's like, how about you go fuck yourself?
How about you just pick the right movies, you piece of shit?
And not be sitting up in your tower,
you old bastards.
Up your ass. And they're like, okay, well, never mind, we changed our mind.
It's weird that the ivory tower of the Oscar Academy can exist inside the Academy's asses.
They hate superhero movies, and they hate the idea of
They
Black
hate animated
Panther.
movies more.
Of course, yeah, and they they also hate cinematography and set design because run that during the commercials.
Fuck, that's bullshit.
If you're not a big star, then you don't deserve screen time.
I feel like every single year, I don't pay attention to the Oscars, I don't give a shit. But every single year, the overwhelming feeling is, man, fuck the Oscars, I hate the Oscars.
Joseph Fares, man.
He was so right. Joseph was so right. And then he put out A Way Out with his team. Guess what? That's one of the best games that came out that year. That game's amazing.
Fuck the Oscars. The fact that all of that shit went down or whatever, and then like everyone's like, eat shit, Black Panther was good.
It was a good movie.
We're not taking it. And they're like, okay, costume design, production design, original score, yeah, right. And it's like just the first time that they've been brute forced into acknowledging it because they fucking hate it. And to capitalize on the moment, right? Trevor Noah goes up there, and I don't know if you saw the clip.
I did not.
But he goes up and he's like, when I was a young kid growing up in Wakanda, King T'Challa would fly overhead, and I'd look up and just be like, wow, and then he said a quote, and the quote was, the white people won't know I'm lying. And he said, and it meant like whenever we're together, we can conquer anything. And it was just like, and everyone stone-faced him saying when I was growing up in Wakanda.
Yeah.
Because why would the fucking Academy
They don't know.
have any idea that
They didn't
this is a Black
They didn't
Panther
watch
reference?
Black Panther.
They hate Black Panther and everything it represents. They hate it, right? Fuck this comic book movie. They don't want that shit amongst their real films. So it was great to pull that over.
Dude, listen.
It was such perfect
Leonardo
timing.
DiCaprio had to eat bear poop in The Revenant. That's acting.
Oh, man. And The Revenant was a great film.
I remember watching this amazing video that broke down like a million years ago, like after Revenant came out, where it broke down this fucked up idea that acting, like the quality of your acting can be measured by the suffering
yeah.
you endure during your role, and how fucking stupid that is.
Christian Bale subscribes to that.
Yeah. It's fucking dumb.
But
acting is not suffering.
The lengths that they went through, though, and being a jerk all day on set and all night while people are trying to get shit done. I mean, I remember like
that means Jared Leto is the greatest actor of all time.
Oh, fuck Method. I remember hearing about Method for the first time and being like,
wow, those people are fucking crazy.
Like, that's so committed. I wonder, like, what's that like? And then you just hear all the stories, and then you watch the fucking Jim Carrey thing, and you're like, oh, it means you're an asshole.
You know what?
Everyone hates it.
You know what always got me about method acting because the thing that got it's a philosophy of acting, right? It's and on its face, there's value there. Hey, are you gonna play a firefighter? Go hang out with firefighters. See what the fuck it's about, right? But then the method, right? That's when it gets crazed.
Yeah.
And
because you're an investigative journalist for a minute, and then
all I can think about is like, in my opinion, acting is like convincing people of a truth that's not real, right? In this particular situation,
yeah,
right. And I'm not an actor, so this is just a layman. But it's like, wait a second, if Christoph Waltz can portray a character immaculately and totally believably without the method, does that mean you just suck compared to Waltz? That you need to embody the character totally in order to do your job?
See, that's the question, right? Is they might see it as like, Rock Leeing it, right? Just like forcing it in until you believe every aspect of it. And when the results are amazing, they are amazing, right? But same, like, when Anthony Hopkins is fucking crushing it on Westworld,
being scary,
and you're like, oh my god, like, and he reads the script and he goes, yep, okay,
yeah,
got
I know. I walked in, I read the script, and went, yeah, cool,
sure,
I'll do it,
got it. And it's like, oh, you're not gonna be him all day. And
he's like, no, fuck it, I'm gonna go home and watch the TV.
It's like, no, you kind of don't necessarily need to do this, and it might make it more impactful in your life.
And the answer might be, well, you need to do this, Christian. You need to do this, Jared. What I'm saying is that method actors are crazy.
Yeah.
And every time you hear about them, you hear about how no one on set liked them.
I mean, that's basically the deal, because it's like, okay, can we get into position? I ain't never getting into position. It's like, well, Denzel, we kind of need you to be on your mark so that the film can... King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about, you wouldn't tell King Kong to get in position.
Like, listen,
he must have been fucking insufferable, man. Like, just the worst.
It's just like, Denzel. Who's Denzel? Who's Denzel? I mean, Alonzo. I'm sorry. Would Alonzo fuck?
Wesley, can you open your eyes? Who's Wesley? Blade, can you open your eyes? No.
Just holy shit, man. Yeah. Anyway, so.
And now I just saw somebody. By the way, we do occasionally look at the chat. There is one instance of method that I will applaud, and that is Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, as he went method of a method, and supposedly he did not drop character for the entire film until the end of the commentary had been recorded.
I still can't believe they got away with that.
Clean. No one gave a shit.
I mean, now they do.
Yeah.
But
it was wild. I remember, you're doing a fucking big budget comedy with a fucking... What, is he Australian or some shit in blackface the whole fucking movie? Wow!
And they agreed, and they greenlit it, and they filmed it, and it happened, and it still exists. It's like...
And people watch it, and they talk about, oh, that movie was great.
And I fucking die. I howled. It was hilarious.
Well,
I can't believe they got away with it.
The smartest thing they did in Tropic Thunder is you have Robert Downey Jr. doing blackface like an idiot in that movie, and you have another black character looking at him going, "You're an idiot."
Yeah,
the whole movie.
Sure,
that's in my mind. That's what it made work.
But they lean in with fucking Simple Jim.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck.
Or what I think, or Simple Tom, or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it was.
Like they went in all directions,
everywhere.
It was crazy.
It feels like a South Park movie directed by Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise might as well have had like a bigger nose. You know what I mean? Like he was leaning in as fucking hard as he could on the, like, it was really nuts that they got away with that shit. Tropic Thunder is wild.
I really like
that movie. Is wild.
I really like that movie.
I can't believe it exists.
And Jay's there.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. That's just crazy. That is That is the least 2019 thing I have like. That is the award, the Oscar for the least 2019 movie of all time goes to.
We're looking at a world that's like fucking post. You can say post Tropic Thunder. You can say post Team America. Because Team America's fucking wild too.
I'm actually sweating.
I am also
just
sweating.
Thinking about it, like, God, wow. Anyway,
I'm uncomfortable.
Congrats to Miles Morales.
You did it. Everybody did it. Everyone who worked on that movie seems like they did a really good job. And I hope they enjoy their Oscar.
Seems.
Well, I don't know.
They did. We saw the.
Yeah, but you don't know. There could have been one guy who was just fucking the dog on it.
Saw the fruits of their labor, you know. Anyway,
it's a good movie.
Let's take some emails.
Hey, if you want to send an email into this here podcast that you're listening to right now, you would send that into castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. You'd be sending that email to, oh, excuse me, got a little burpee there. castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com. And if you do send an email into castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com, your email might get read on this podcast, the Castle Super Beast cast. The Castle. Oh, I don't want. That is
don't
confusing.
do that.
That is actually confusing.
See, I tried. That's why I made it clear.
The Castle Super Beast podcast.
Yes. I could have.
That
made
is
that
legitimately
mail,
fucking super confusing.
I chose that mail very carefully.
Yeah, that is weird.
Don't do it.
You might have your email read like this. Hopefully, I gave Willie enough time to pull up the email.
So, we got one coming in from Matt T. Says, "Hey,
yo, man.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Wooly. With Get Into Fighting Games being sort of a spiritual successor to FNF, and can we get a continuation of SMS called Get Out of Fighting Games?"
That's a great name.
You claim the bottom of the barrel is still thick. I'd love to see FGC players lower themselves to poverty.
That is a great name for a segment.
Get out. That's really funny. We are playing poverty, absolutely. Every week, if you haven't noticed. Like the first time we played, the first week we played something legit. We played like Mark of the Wolves, and then we did like fucking Neo Aquarium.
Yeah.
So we are playing poverty.
Yo, I saw some clips of you playing Neo Aquarium. That shit looked crazy.
Yeah.
It looked awesome.
I am subjecting FGC players to absolute trash. So yes, that is totally happening. God, shoutouts to fucking Two Metal and Cranky Construct and Lee Mouse.
Yo, yeah, for real. Like, I messaged Cranky right after that. I'm like, how did you do that? And he was like, it was no problem. I'm like, how's no problem? How are you so strong?
I'm so happy with that intro.
You should be. It's the best.
We got one coming in from
Get Out of Fighting. That's fantastic.
Austin says, "Hey, Castle Super, opening with an hour of talking about childhood trauma beasts.
It was closer to an hour and a half this week.
Been meaning to get around to sending you this, but lol, no energy.
You know what you need.
Ja Rule stole my shirt.
What?
That Fire Fest stuff is a bit out of the zeitgeist now, but I was actually anyway directly affected by Fire shit show. Back in 2017, I had started a long-distance relationship with this girl I met via a shit post I made on Twitter that went somewhat viral. She was working at an event planning company which was planning a big festival called Fire, although she wasn't on that project. She has her own place, and we made plans to visit in June. Until then, I decided to be cute and send her one of my favorite shirts in the mail. Fast forward a week after, and everything is fucked, and the receptionist with the only key to the mail just stopped coming after the meetings, and everyone was asked to keep working without pay. To this day, I don't know what happened to the shirt. So although it's somewhat indirect, I blame Ja Rule, because it's funny to say Ja Rule stole my shirt.
He stole your shirt. He's wearing it right now.
We're still together, though, and we're moving in a couple months.
Oh, that's very sweet. Congratulations.
There you go. Thanks, Austin.
You should get to the bottom of that.
I think he might have stole your shirt, bro.
You know what? You know who to help you? 50 Cent. 50 Cent will help you.
Investigate the stolen
Investigate
shirt.
what the deal with the shirt is.
Yeah.
He is bored. He is a bored rich man.
There's a lot of smart people in this room. I wouldn't say I stole a shirt.
Ja, you're wearing the shirt right now.
I just borrowed it for a while.
Ja, it's dirty. It stinks. You haven't taken the shirt off in weeks.
We got one coming in very aggressively because
Oh yeah,
uh,
aggressive emails.
Dilly Dally decided to keep bumping this one for weeks upon weeks upon weeks.
You should not read it.
I got. It's good. It's fun. It's a good email. I'm gonna but it's like I got it, Dilly. You don't have to do that. I got it.
Anybody who ever tries this gimmick ever again will get those emails deleted. So you send those in once.
Yeah, I'm not rewarding this behavior, but it's decent enough. So, Dilly Dally says, "Hey yo, people who bring joy to
That's me.
I was recently having a conversation about with my best bud about what makes games hard. About the belief that many of the games are considered hard are not really that hard, but rather punishing. I started with the example of Souls.
Yeah.
Mechanically, Souls are not difficult. Many people are shown, as many people have shown, like One Bros or randomized mods, gets a reputation because it's punishing with mistakes that have severe consequences.
That's correct.
Aside from the plot, when you start the game, you already have all the abilities and things you need to beat it. There's nothing standing in your way but your own mistakes and inexperience. My friend brought Cuphead up as another
Cuphead's
example.
fucking hard.
They beat it in 2 hours, and they find games of this type easy because they're also a rhythm gaming wizard.
Oh, okay.
After the conversation, it turned to how FPS games and other genres, like RPGs, would fit this paradigm of difficulty versus punishment. The games that capitalize on mistakes and poor planning versus games that are actively impeding the ability to succeed and adding more enemies, versus games that passively impede the player, like having less ammo. You might have touched upon this topic when discussing Rising Thunder versus Street Fighter versus Dive Kick. Character action games like Devil May Cry 4 aren't really punishing because you can take many hits, but it is hard because your ranking and style require mastery of the game. This can be seen as perpendicular in high punishment, realism/hardcore, FPS games such as Insurgency or Day of Infamy, where a brand new person can frag the top because the person at the top made a mistake and missed a shot.
This is a really broad topic. It's basically this email is just a question like, what's the deal with difficulty in games? This is way too broad to answer adequately here. But I would actually broaden out his definition of difficulty versus punishment. There are dozens of ways games can be difficult. Games can be physically demanding of your reflexes and eyesight. Games can be mentally demanding of your ability to plan ahead, like Tetris, right? Tetris is like, you got to be fast, but you also got to think fast, right?
Yeah.
Many games, particularly a lot of the games that I like to play, the difficulty lies in a lack of knowledge. Like, take an isometric RPG. I don't know how the enemies and the systems in this game work.
Yeah.
Therefore, it is difficult.
As
I gain mastery over what this does, what this character does, what this enemy does,
yes,
it becomes more easy, and that knowledge will carry me forward.
Yeah, I'd say RPGs are absolutely that.
Yeah.
Because there's no, like, the only thing that'll fuck you up is a bad decision.
Right.
Right.
There are games.
Sometimes a bad roll.
Yeah. But you can always mitigate that with good knowledge.
A game like Super Meat Boy is actually just severely punishing.
Yes.
It's not that it's hard as much as it is you cannot make mistakes.
You are not allowed.
Exactly. So if you allow for 0 mistakes, the game will automatically have that perception of being harder than it actually is. But
now there are games that are not. There are games that
are
not that difficult, but are extraordinarily punishing. I would say, I don't want to say Dark Souls, because Dark Souls is difficult in a lot of places, and it's difficult in a very weird meta way in that when Dark Souls and Demon Souls 1 came out, they did not function like other games around them, so they had a inferred knowledge problem.
Well,
Cuphead's hard as fuck.
Cuphead is hard because you can't make mistakes.
Yeah.
If you could make more mistakes in Cuphead, it would not be as hard.
Start the level over.
That's that's what it is. And yeah, so it is a balance,
there's all these
right?
different factors to difficulty, and all the best games will introduce all the types of difficulty: knowledge, reflex, planning, etc.
Experience,
right?
Yes, yeah.
But some games are just like, do you have the fucking mental brain power to plan ahead? For example, my dad used to fucking play the PC version of Risk from 195. Beast all over that fucking game. I couldn't figure out what the fuck he was doing. Like, he learned exactly how the AI would move.
Yeah.
And at that point, the game became totally trivialized because whatever. You know exactly what the enemy's going to do.
So I would say Darkest Dungeon is a pleasant mix of all things, because knowing what's coming, if I were to tell you exactly what was about to happen, that doesn't guarantee that you have the ability to stop it.
But it does give me the ability to mitigate it.
Attempt
So,
to.
for example, the ruins don't bring bleed. Nothing there bleeds.
But if
bring
you-
blight.
But if you've already committed to that journey,
Yeah.
you might be fucked.
Yeah.
If you have a cast of characters that might not be, you know, the ones you're fucking looking for, like, yeah, you might be fucked in that
And then there's games that have mechanical difficulty versus purely memorization difficulty.
Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming out.
Yeah, by the way, Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming out.
Darkest Dungeon 2.
By the way, good job putting that on the docket.
Darkest Dungeon fucking 2. That's the best.
It is the best.
That's the best. I'm really, really,
I don't think
really
I like
happy.
Darkest Dungeon. I think I love Darkest Dungeon, and I think I am miserable every time I play it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It went badly?
I can't get anywhere. I'm miserable with every mistake. Like, it's... The goblins make it bad. Okay?
Did you
The
not-
mind goblins make it bad to play.
Did you attempt any of the other modes?
I played on Radiant. I played like 10 hours, and I'm like anxious and miserable the whole time.
Wow.
Like, it's like I appreciate it, and I know it's a fantastic game, but I don't think it's for me.
Wow. The mind goblins.
Yeah. But other people with less mind goblins have a similar issue.
So
it's just like the core of the game, which is throw this shit in the dirt, it doesn't matter, hurts me. That sucks to Pat.
In terms of characters?
Characters, runs, anything.
But you are you attempting a perfect run?
No, I'm not.
Because you're gonna get out with characters that you lose. You're gonna get out.
Let me put it to you this way. You know how every time you finish a run in Darkest Dungeon, you have negative effects?
You crawl past the finish line.
Right, you crawl past it, but you end up, it's like, oh, this guy got this debuff, and this guy's stressed. What? Those negative effects feel worse to me than the success of the mission feels good.
Put them in the cloister.
No, you're not. You don't. Every mission ends with me feeling worse than I feel happy.
Because of the debuffs.
Because of the downsides. Because I never feel like I succeeded, even when I actually succeeded.
But it's progress.
That's
Goblins.
And there's a non-goblin version of that as well.
I don't even know how to address that one, because it's like, that sucks.
I like to play games and feel like I'm doing well, if I am doing well. And Darkest Dungeon is explicitly designed to kill that feeling on purpose. And that's cool. But that makes me feel bad.
Here's what I can say, is you can mitigate that by doing two things. One, you can cheat by just, like, wikiing everything.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
And once you get back, whenever you do get negative effects, and occasionally your curiosity is a little bit too high or whatever the fuck, you just spend the rich money you have just fixing that one problem.
It's the kind of game that I'm going to try again and again and again and again, like once a month, probably until the sequel comes out.
Did you play with mods?
Only the one that increases tooltips and makes the game a little faster. That's it. I was explicitly recommended off of nearly all mods by a ton of people because they horribly unbalance the game. And it was recommended Radiant by pretty much everyone just because it's faster. It's not any more. It's not any easier. It's just faster.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I've only ever played the raw base game, so I can't speak for any of them except for the brand new knowledge I've had of.
But yeah, no, I appreciate that game, but I think I might hate it.
Yeah,
But I will continue to attempt to appreciate it because that's how I felt about Demon's Souls. This exact feeling is how I felt about Demon's Souls, and then I crossed just a threshold, and now I'm obsessed with that whole thing.
I mean, so the fact that you get like your life bar permanently halved when you're upon death, you got over that.
Oh, I never went human the first time I played Demon's Souls ever. So that extra part of the life bar might as well not have existed.
Okay, so you were literally undead the entire time.
I like when given a situation like that, I will literally go, nope, I'm never gonna buff myself because it'll just go away. So I'll just fucking.
What about eating fucking herbs in Resident Evil?
That just gets you back up to your default state.
Plus better. If it's all 3, no?
Yeah, but I only use those in boss fights when I know I'm going to take more damage.
Goblins.
Well, I beat Resident Evil 2 hardcore the other night. I finished that game on hardcore, which is much more difficult, with 40 shotgun shells, 175 handgun rounds, a secondary weapon that you haven't seen yet, completely full of ammo, and like 27 magnum rounds, and was still juking enemies because what if I don't have enough?
What if I don't have enough?
In like the last rooms, like I had ammo to kill the entire game twice over.
I do not want to be that. I do not want to be you.
You gotta save it. What if you need it later?
Oh man.
No, what if you need it later, man?
Keep trying.
I beat the final boss with the magnum ammo, and then point out, oh man, I almost ran out of magnum ammo. Good thing I saved it. And people point out, you had hundreds of handgun rounds and almost 50 shotgun rounds. What are you talking about? I'm like, but
you already know deep down inside how good
it's a never-ending struggle.
You know how good the game is. So.
Yeah, it's amazing.
All right, up. Greetings, Lord Chewington and Sir Fuckface.
Yo, what up?
Castle Super Beast. Clef says, after the biggest, most awful, most tragic event in history, that is the dissolution of SBFP, I decided to go and listen to the old podcast from episode 1 during my daily commute.
Oh, that's probably a trip.
As I listened, I couldn't help but let off a constant stream of oh no's podcast after podcast as I listened for your enthusiasm for things like Mighty Number 9, Inafune, and the future of Kickstarter games, the bright 60 FPS everything on the new generation of consoles. Do you remember any other statement or previous positions that has aged as well as a fine glass of milk?
My favorite one is that I predicted the Switch to the letter. I'm going to hold on to that win forever.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say that I can't stop you, but if you go back and decide to listen to old shit, including the beginning of this podcast, it's dated and probably all wrong and terrible.
Well, it's transient.
It's a moment.
It's an ephemeral, transient form of entertainment that often will not hold up because it has zero hindsight.
And we're all living speculation day to day. Like, you don't feel that the present is speculation because you don't have any future knowledge.
I've been told on occasion that I might speculate a little wildly.
I think everybody.
But that's fun to me.
I think all of you listening, I think everyone, if you could go back and listen to the speculation and excitement you had for things in the past based on not knowing what horrible things were coming down the pipe, you would cringe.
I do feel, however, that it is appropriate that the most wrong we ever were on that podcast was like the first thing we ever talked about, which was Mighty Number 9.
It's
the first episode.
First episode?
It is the first fucking episode.
That's why that keeps coming back.
And it is like, if you're not excited for Mighty Number 9, you are fucking stupid. That is a quote one of us said.
I was wondering why that kept coming back up whenever people talk about the old ones, but it's the first one.
It's the first one, and it is like the actual fucking wrongest ever.
That's amazing. That's fantastic. You can't change it. Wouldn't have it any other way. We got one coming in from Rowan. Hey, yes. Hey, Wolves. You mentioned it before that the denomination you grew up in was SDA. I knew some general stuff about that is relatively common, like Saturday Sabbaths and the particular take on the rapture. What I didn't know until today was that it was a blast to hear about. They actually sprang out of the Millerism movement and one of the many doomsday movements that acquired the humorous nickname of the Great Disappointment. Yeah, that's real.
Can I hazard a guess that is like disappointment that the apocalypse did not occur?
That's correct.
Fuck.
Which on its own has put it up in there as history's greatest fuck-ups go. So can we get another Bible Talk segment that just goes over what Millerism was and sets the Seventh-day Adventists apart for listeners who don't know? I feel like your personal spin on the story would be just reading about it. Keep on figuring it out, Rowan. Thanks, Rowan. Appreciate you.
I'll take this one. Jesus.
That's correct. No, I'm not going to spend. I don't want to spend too long. I'm not going to like fucking going forever on it. It's really short and simple. Is that Seventh Day Adventism before it was that came from a movement because there's a dude called William Miller. And William Miller said that
it's Miller time.
Yep.
And
you know when Miller time is?
What's that?
Miller time is 1844.
Oh my God, is that the actual fucking original Doomsday?
Yes.
Holy shit, that's super wrong.
Calculated. He pulled out the fucking the magnifying glass and the beakers, and he did the science, and he read the texts and the Bible. He's like, you know what? I figured it out. I cracked the code. It's all ending in 1844.
1844!
And everybody really, really leaned in hard. And they were basically like, yeah, man, if you're not a Millerist, who the fuck are you? Right?
You gotta get ready.
You gotta get ready. That's the whole thing. And people were like on the edge of their seats like never before on the exact date was, I want to say it was like May something. Like May 22nd or something like that. 1840. It was an exact day. And they were saying goodbye to each other. And they were like, imagine if you were as sure as the sun would rise tomorrow that it wasn't.
So I'm going to point out, I just did a little history check right there, that Miller time precludes the founding of Confederation of Canada by 23 years. So in Miller time, there is no Canada.
So the great disappointment occurs, and everyone goes, "Bah!"
Oh no, we're not dead.
Panic and sweat, and everyone freaks out and goes, What happened?" Right? Because this is your whole existence at this point.
You don't have, it's 1844. You don't have internet. You can't look at your anime.
All you have is everyone else you know that's waiting on the end.
Yeah, that's right.
Because that's what the book says. And then a bunch of different schools of thought form out of what went wrong. What happened? Asks everybody. And a couple people go, I know what it is. 1844 is not the end of the world. That's the closed door. What this means is we didn't see the second coming because that's when the door shut.
That sucks. That sucks. That is nightmarish as a conclusion for the rapture and for heaven. That is the worst. I can't believe that.
If you have not been a saved soul up until this point in time, that was the shutting of the door. And now we're in the final phase where your fates have been sealed. And all you can do is wait for the true end.
What happens to everyone born in 1945 onwards?
The door has been shut. That led... So the great disappointment...
That sucks.
...leads directly to the shut door theory. And that was what most people went on. They're going, oh, what we concluded was correct. It's just the process was different from what we thought.
That is just as ridiculous as fucking predestination with the Catholics. That is just as ridiculous as that.
Ellen G. White has visions and basically concludes after doing the studies. It's serious, Pat. It's serious.
I just feel like we made a big jump in tone.
Ellen G. White studies the Great Disappointment and eventually concludes alongside other people. Initially, she buys into it and talks about it a little bit, and it's a little bit embarrassing because her prophecies later on, you're supposed to be like a prophet can never get anything wrong.
Well, no, it's kind of part of the deal.
And technically people say, well, no, she didn't really push it. She just used the language of the people at the time to convince them with her points, but that's a point up for debate. Regardless, Ellen G. White then goes on and says effectively that no, what it was is that, okay, so in the Bible there's a ceremony that takes place where the head priest goes into the holiest of holies, and it's like a chamber inside of a chamber, and it's where the Ark of the Covenant, that like the ghost comes out and kills the Nazis.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so that
It'll actually kill anybody. Pretty much.
Yeah. So that
thing is fucked up.
The original place where that thing was being carried
Yeah.
was into the holiest of holies, inside a chamber with an outer. It's like that place. If you go in there, you fucking drop dead. You can't handle it. It's the presence of God.
Yeah, no, you have to be of a significant holiness or whatever.
The gate around that, the curtain around that. If you go in there, and it's like that's already fucking dicey.
Yeah.
You can't really be a sinner, right? But your inherent sin, the thing that makes you human or whatever, can still be inside of you. But the holiest of holies, the big priest, we got to tie a rope around him, because if he goes in and drops dead, we got to pull his body out. That's how that goes.
All right.
So there's a process where eventually the sanctuary is cleansed, and there's a process where like that thing is sealed, and then he cleanses all the sins of everybody.
This feels like a curse rather than a blessing.
The conclusion is that the version of that ceremony that took place on Earth took place in heaven, and that the closed door wasn't actually the closed door. It was the sealing of the sanctuary ceremony. And now, after 1844, until the end of days, we're in the final days. Right? We're in the final stages.
No matter how long those final days last.
We can hit 26th century and be running around with Battle Angel Alita. But we are in the final days at that point.
I want to backtrack a little bit, because the Ark of the Covenant fucks me up.
Oh, yeah?
Because the Ark of the Covenant...
big God box?
The Ark of the Covenant is a big God box that if you get close to it or you open it and you are anything other than Jesus level pure, you will instantly die. And this is a holy object.
Yeah. Because you have sin in you.
That is a D&D cursed chest.
Sin cannot...
Like that, like, come on.
Sin cannot exist in the presence. That's how it goes. Pat, the year is fucking whatever 14th, 13th, 11th century. I don't know, right? The year is way back when. A gigantic light falls from the sky.
Cool.
And lands in the middle of a populated city.
And
a black rock is found at the epicenter.
That's cool.
2019, what do you call that?
Meteorite.
Yeah. Back then, what do you call that?
Sign from heaven. What have you.
What do? You create...
you got to make a sword out of it so you can kill that big cobra motherfucker.
No. You build a gigantic fucking thing around it, and you make it so that, like, this is now the holiest place on planet Earth. And that's how that goes, right? What other knowledge you... Anyway, the great disappointment, the closing of the door, etc., and so on and so forth. That's basically where Seventh-day Adventism came from. When Ellen G. Wright said, nah, it's cool. The door ain't that closed. It was just the fake door upstairs, not the real one down here.
I'm going to start a religion.
Got it. Blackjack and hookers?
Nah.
Xenu?
Called Patism.
Okay.
All right. Get into heaven by littering.
What's litter?
Litter is garbage that you throw on the ground.
What's garbage?
Anything. Anything you want.
What's the ground?
If it's the earth, the earth outside.
Is the ground underneath you right now?
No. I'm in a building.
So anything that you throw on the ground is considered garbage?
Yeah, that's right.
Are you garbage?
Yes.
If you throw yourself on the ground?
Yeah.
Is that littering?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Then we're all littering.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're all perfect converts.
The more you litter, the better heaven you get into.
If you stand on the ground, then you're always littering.
Yeah.
You got to get down to the technical questions.
Do I?
Yes, you do.
Do I really?
Because the theologians...
I just want to be a Captain Planet villain.
I'll be real. The theologians need to question the exact nature of this and how it works. And this is the studies that people thousands of years from now...
I'll fucking bullshit it as I go along and I get the money.
Because people's lives and or their ability to keep their genitals might rely on you deciding what litter is. I'm just saying.
It's aluminum.
You need to make sure people know what litter is when you write this down. Because if you don't put those details in, it's going to be messy a couple thousand years from now.
Give aluminum back to the earth.
It's going to get messy if you don't write the details down. You know those little details that you're kind of going, I don't know right now? Yeah, they become a problem when you fast forward to the future.
Listen, Wooly, I don't think you understand. When these when we're
How many languages you gonna write this in?
Listen,
One?
hey, no.
Aramaic? Is that
No,
the only one?
no.
Are you sure?
Wooly, listen, I'll be dead. I don't care. I'll be in littering heaven. Don't give a shit.
What's coming up? What's coming out?
Devil May Cry 5 is still like 11 days away.
Count it down.
That's really all that was in my mind, I'll be honest.
That's fine. That's okay. DOA 6 had a demo this weekend.
I saw some stupid shit from
Didn't get to
that.
touch it, but, you know, it's coming. It's coming. Oh, Lord, it's coming. Yeah, no, so that's a deal.
That's a cat fatness index, thank you.
I don't know what else is about to drop, but that's fine. What?
Hmm? What?
Isn't there something that I just saw an announcement for?
Are you alright?
Yes! God, fuck. I'm like, I know something just came out. Devil Engine is out.
Yeah, it's out.
Go play Devil Engine.
That's a shmup.
It's got cool characters in it that you might recognize.
It's not a Shlooter.
You might like some of the secrets in that game. Go play Devil Engine. It's made by cool people. And Solidus is not paying me to say this, but he wants me to say that Pray for the Gods is also out there.
Oh my fucking god. He will not fucking shut the fuck up about Pray for the Gods. It is infuriating.
That's the Colossus looking.
He
one.
has convinced me to never play it. With his incessant badgering.
I'm curious to take a look. It looks like the Colossus one, though it looks really, really Colossus-y.
Yeah, totally.
But it was that successful Kickstarter, I believe.
Never gonna play it.
No.
Never.
Well,
Have spite.
That's what you get. Sorry, man.
You can edit a montage of me saying that I'll never play it.
Why you gotta be a shit?
Yeah, it's my job.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
What if I click the stop button?
Then we're done.